intro it for a little bit too.
Yeah, no, you're good. I'll let you talk.
All right, bet. Okay. Welcome to Tim's podcast, the podcast where I talk to the homies. Well, I want to introduce you to one of my homies, Aaron. We've gone back a long time.
Over 15 years, probably.
Yeah, let's see. Dude, I think, all right. I was probably 12. And you were 10?
Yeah.
You may have been 8. You may have been. When did you start going to that church?
Ooh.
I remember.
No, I would have been. I think I was 12. I think I was 12.
I think you're. No, dude.
Because I was going to Fairfield High School.
Okay, at the time.
I'm pretty. It could have been before. No, I might have been in Milford, which would have been 11 to 12.
I might have been in high school, or I think I was in high school. I think you're right. I think I was probably 14, and you were 12.
Yeah.
And I remember shooting hoops in the court, and you walking in, and we started talking. I knew Elena beforehand.
I remember that you and I, out of everybody else that was there, had like an instant connection. Like we were different from everybody else that went there.
Yeah.
You know, like
we were homies.
Not that they were like not cool, but we were cool. You know, like, we stood out. We were standouts there. In a good way, though. Like,
I don't know if you've
we just had
tracked any of the people's lives that went there. Some of them are actually doing pretty well.
Yeah, some are doing well, but like some are not doing well.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a different topic.
I remember what was it? It was either the co-op. I went for the co-op, the homeschool co-op, and that might have been. And I think Elena was going to the homeschool co-op as well.
I think Elena went before I was going there because I was pulled out of school the next year. And then my mom started homeschooling me, which was me basically just working at home by myself for a couple hours, just like speed running homeschooling stuff on the computer,
as you could,
and then getting on my bike and just riding around town. Like I didn't learn anything in the year that I homeschooled myself.
Yeah, but you learned how to accomplish tasks and be physical.
Yeah.
So that sounds like
that's
more than you learn at most places.
That's basically what I did. I think I got more out of it than being in school.
And faking it till you make it. You've learned that too.
Yes, definitely faked it till I made it.
But so you went to the co-op, and then we met at that place, and then we started hanging out. I mean, it was
basically instantaneous. Like after we met each other, we were like, "Hey, we should definitely get together."
Is actually cool. Yeah. Not to say that anyone else wasn't there wasn't cool, but they were definitely not. Yeah, and you guys were going to that church.
They're definitely not as cool.
They were not as cool. And you guys were going to that church,
We'll put it this way. It's not that they weren't cool. They weren't as outgoing as we were. Like, our personalities meshed really well together in comparison to the people there who were very quiet.
Yeah.
And not trying
I think they were sheltered and a little awkward, and we were not. Well, for me personally.
I was sheltered, but it just wasn't awkward.
Yeah, but you also had gone to public school, and I had gone to public school. Yeah, and most of those had not been to public school. They're homeschooled.
Their whole lives.
Yeah. Yeah. I think.
And been with the same
group of
20 people at that
group.
Small church the entire time.
How did you come to that church? How old were you when you went to that church?
Basically the same time frame. I think I would have been 12.
So you guys had just gone there? She dated Brian Moore, your sister. That's what I remember.
Yes.
They were like dating at that point.
I don't even know if they dated before or after we started going to that church, because he went there for a little while.
Yeah. They were part of the co-op.
But I think that we knew the Moores outside. I think. I'm not 100% sure. They just had so many kids and we had kids.
Yeah, and they're at Elkhart.
Yeah, but somehow I don't know if it was like church camp or something that they met previously, or if it was the co-op where they met.
Yeah.
But yeah, they started dating again, like without my mom knowing. You know, like they were just. It was like we'd go over to their houses, like family to family, but they were dating. You know.
Yeah. Brian was cool.
Oh yeah, I really liked Brian.
Was really nice.
I would, if I knew where he was or anything, I would still hang out with him.
I think he went to the army.
I know he did.
I don't know if he's. I mean, I'm sure.
I know he's married, has multiple kids. But it's just, you know, like
the
only reason I know that is social media, and that's like social media doesn't really necessarily always connect you to someone. You
just kind of see what they're doing.
Yeah, you can like and comment and whatever, but it doesn't necessarily be like, oh yeah, I know them now.
Yeah,
you don't know.
No, you don't. You can't actually sit there and talk and like. There's so much more depth.
He could be a totally different person now, and I'd have no idea.
Yeah, he probably smokes cigs.
Well, being in the army.
How funny is that? He probably does though, right? I don't know.
Being in the army.
That's what I thought when I was 14.
For a couple years.
When I was 14, I thought he smoked cigs when he was 14. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, this guy's definitely smokes
for a couple years, but then I was just like,
you did the like Turkish. I remember you smoked the Turkish.
I smoked Turkish Royals for a while. When I first started
smoking.
Did
you like Newports and stuff?
Like my mom and dad never smoked.
Have we introduced you?
You said my name.
This is Aaron. My homie Aaron. Okay, all right, we're good.
Yeah, no. But I did smoke when I first got my first real job out of high school.
Yeah.
Which
was what?
Okay, well, my second real job. I worked at StarCraft where they made Windows or whatever. But then I moved on to building cell phone towers, which was the most fun and intense job. If you're single, it's great, because you travel all the time or whatever.
Yeah, and you're working, you're making money.
But I was 18 and I'm working with grown men. I'm an adult, but I'm not a grown man. You know, I don't know the world or anything.
Right.
And all these guys smoke cigarettes like Marlboro Reds, Cowboy Killers, or Newports. I don't know why that was it was either the strongest regular cigarette or the strongest menthol cigarette.
Yeah.
So my second or third week on the job, I went into the gas station, everybody, all of us did in the mornings, and just bought a pack of cigarettes. And I came out to the truck, I did it through the van or whatever, and I lit one up, and they were like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Bought a pack of cigarettes." They're like, "You're an idiot. You're an idiot for starting smoking right now."
You're like, but it's so cool.
And I was like, "You guys all do it. I'm secondhand smoking all day. I may as well smoke myself, you know." So yeah, I just started doing that, and
Turkish Shores. I remember you came to.
It was but like I said, I didn't have a preference because I was like, I'll just do this because that's what they're doing.
Right.
And then I started experimenting with cigarettes and trying different kinds or whatever. I didn't care what people.
You told me Turkish Royal because it didn't stick on your clothes as much. I remember you came down.
They
to
were
Grace
just
College.
lighter, and they still had a hit. They
didn't smell as bad either.
And
I'll be honest.
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie.
They didn't smell as bad.
I liked the pack they came in more than anything else. It
just
had a cool design. Camel did a really cool design with that pack, and it was just way better than like Marlboro or whatever at the time. Just the plain
black or red
or whatever. Yeah, it was a cool pack.
Yeah. That's funny. Yeah, it was that little gold and blue, right?
Yeah,
something like that.
It was cool.
I think I smoked a couple of years.
I'm positive.
I remember you coming down to Grace College and hanging out with me, and we went to the gas station and you were smoking those. I don't remember what it was, but I was definitely in Warsaw.
It was definitely, I remember being there.
You came to Warsaw a couple times while I was down there.
It was when you lived on the little peninsula.
Yeah, on the island.
Yep,
yeah.
Right by the boathouse place and everything. Yeah. No, I remember that.
Yeah.
And then I smoked cigarettes for 2 years, almost on the dot, and then one day I was I bought a Mech Mod vaporizer.
Yeah, I remember.
And then
you were living at Deb's house. I remember you would have that broken car, and you would smoke cigarettes in that broken car in front of the garage.
Yeah, no, I would just sit out there and
You said for a week, if I remember right, a week or two, you were hacking up black stuff because you stopped smoking.
That wasn't the reason I quit smoking.
But after you quit smoking,
you started doing after I quit, I was always coughing.
Because you switched over to the vape stuff.
Yeah. And then when I started vaping is when I started, just for a week or two, my lungs really cleaned themselves, and I started coughing stuff up. It wasn't a lot of black stuff, but it was enough to where I was
this is
maybe not want to go back to smoking cigarettes.
You could taste stuff too. I remember that as well.
Yeah, you lose so much taste and smell when you smoke cigarettes. No matter what kind you're smoking, you lose so much.
Yeah,
and
I'm glad you stopped that.
Oh yeah, so am I. I still even now
every once in a while.
No, I haven't done it in a long time. More so now, just nicotine. I still use a vape every now and again, but not. It's not every day. It's not even every week at sometimes. There's times I went 9 months with no drinking, no smoking, no nothing, no caffeine.
Just completely.
Just
was this for the arm wrestling stuff?
No, it was more so just for overall health. I just decided to do, but you'd be surprised at what you can not trick, but teach your body to be okay with, and just natural sleep, and just having the your brain just to be look, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this, and to quit all those things at the same time.
Yeah.
Really does give you the power later on in life to make decisions and be look, I can do this, and I can do this, and I can
to do it all at once.
Yeah, no, it's I'm not gonna say it was easy. You're having cravings for drinking and smoking, and it's like I said, it's not easy, but it was easier than I thought it would be, but it's not easy. I'm not gonna lie and be oh, it was so easy to do that. But especially after doing it for years, it was just mainly habitual. It was I got so caught up in just as soon as I'm done doing this, I do this. As soon as I'm done doing this, I'm gonna go do that. It's just, and then just to stop that in one day, and then as soon as you're done doing the thing you normally do, and be I should go smoke. Okay, I'm not doing that. It's just a mental
Well,
thing.
it was nice because you had the vape stuff. That you like were able to kind of switch over
Yeah,
that.
that was
you
the
were able to
biggest
like
thing.
take the nicotine down as well.
Yeah, to where I wasn't
you
vaping
walked
any
it down.
nicotine.
Yeah.
You know, and
it was. I'm gonna be honest. Vaping was way cooler. This is like at the right when vaping started.
Yeah, it was basically the
Vaping
same,
was
like,
way
right
cooler.
When vaping, like, the year that we started vaping on Google, if you typed in word of the year, vape was word of the year.
Yeah, was that like 2014 maybe?
15.
15.
2015.
Okay. I just got back from college.
Yeah,
Oh, that's right.
I'm positive it was 2015.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember one of my favorite high school memories is driving with you in my red Dodge Neon, listening to the Lil Wayne album in my CD player. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah, no, I remember.
we
We listened to it a lot.
Yeah,
on the CD
it
player.
was No Ceilings, and it was the rock album too.
Yep, both. We listened to
The
both.
rock album when it first came out. I think that was like one.
Essentially on repeat.
Yeah, just
We
over
listened
and
to both
over.
of them.
We would just drive around and do stuff. I mean, we did a lot of stuff in high school. You were always coming over to my house.
Oh, yeah.
You literally just hung out.
Yeah, I was like one of your mom and dad's kids.
Yeah.
Like they essentially just let me.
We would play Call of Duty. You were the best at Call of Duty. You were the best person I knew at Call of Duty until I met Evan. But that was like years later.
That was years later.
Right.
Like I taught him everything he knew
Yeah,
too. Like
yeah.
Evan is still.
I remember one Call of Duty game where you went just sniping like 37-0, and you stood in one little spot, and it was on It was either on Modern Warfare 2 or Black Ops 1. I forget which one.
It was probably Black Ops 1 because my best game ever on Black Ops 1 was like 225 kills with no deaths, and I was just spawn trapping on domination or demolition. Demolition is where you had like the switch sides,
Yeah.
and essentially all you would do is spawn trap for as long as possible. And you had to get really lucky though because you had to get people that were like, because they didn't have a match making skills yet, so it was just like good to get lucky and get 6 complete scrubs that were like, I'm just here to play, and they didn't know that they were dying 90 times in a match.
Yeah.
And you just kept, and then finally you'd be like, oh, there's 30 seconds left in the match, run back to your side, let them plant the bomb, let it end, and then do another match. Like you had to play it perfect to where
Oh, really? So
Yeah.
then they would really.
you
so
were
you
spawn
were
trapping
like,
them for like 9 minutes, and then you would just run to your other side with your. You
Let
had, to
them
play,
win.
you had to play the full team too to let it happen. You know, like be like, hey, everybody leave now, let them do it, let them
Yeah.
plant it, let it blow up.
And then go
And
back
then do
to
it again the next round. Like do your whole 10 minutes. Of
Did
just
you ever have
spawn
like one
trapping.
person want to like win on your team, and they were just so anyway? Yeah.
Yeah, you did, but like that's why I made sure I was like with a six
Yeah.
man squad. Like me and my brother being split screening and being the top 2 guys in the lobby
That
on the
is
split
so
screen.
funny.
People were like, dude, they're definitely hacking, but we weren't. We were just
600
really
or 200 what?
It was like 220 plus kills with no deaths.
That's crazy.
Like yeah. I mean, like I've even got them saved on my old account to where like, you can go back. I think it was Modern Warfare 3. If you look up my old account, you can literally watch the old. I think I went 187-2 on that one.
Oh, my
and
word.
Then, like I did the one on like Dome or not Dome. Man, I can't think of the name of that map. Hard Hat.
Oh, yeah.
I went like 89-0 on that map, and like you can look those up still and still watch them. Like they're on there. I've looked it up not too long ago. I just don't have those accounts.
It's
anymore.
on your YouTube or what? You on
No,
your,
I don't have a YouTube.
It's
It was just like if you look up that the gamer tag. Like if you look up, I think it's
Oh, you can see the actual.
yeah, it's like Machine Gun Me 444 or it's 44s. I don't know, but if you look those up and you go to like that profile, you have to be on Xbox to look it up or whatever.
You can see it.
And you like click on like the 6. You can say up to like 6 videos, and one of the, like I had all 6, and they were like pretty impressive videos to like
Yeah.
look at or whatever. I actually got offered a full-time job to work for Machinima Gaming Community.
Dang, that was back when Machinima was huge too.
But I was 16, and then when they offered me the job from just watching my stuff, they realized, like I answered a questionnaire, and I was like, they saw that my age was 16, and you had to be 18 to work for Machinima.
Yeah.
So then I ended up like I moved out of my dad's house, where I had my account, and I left my Xbox to my brother, and I was unable to, keep that. Like I didn't pay for it anymore. So
Yeah, and you didn't game
my brother
either.
played his own thing, so like I forgot the password and everything, and like never, which it's not a big deal. Like it would have been cool to do that, but
Yeah.
it was.
I remember when you were telling me about that. That was crazy.
It was a missed out. At one point in time on. Man, was it It was either Modern Warfare 3 or Black Ops 2 that I was ranked number 1 in the world because it's based on like points per minute, I think, and I was ranked number 1 in almost every game mode that I would like focus on at one point in time. Not consecutively, but like, yeah. But I spent like my senior year of school. I missed over 45 days of school because I sat at home and played that game.
At your dad's house.
Yep, and then he would write me a note every day because I'd be like, "Look, Dad, I still have A's and B's I'm passing with honors. Like,
Yeah.
just write me
Look
a
at
note.
you now. You're still doing great.
Yeah. Like I'm not mad at you.
Yeah, but do you remember any of your schooling? No, but do you remember this? Yes.
Yeah,
And
I remember this.
still,
Like,
these are still accomplishments.
I remember things that happened at school, but they
Yeah.
were just the funny things. It wasn't like my schooling. Like, I can honestly say that there's
That's
very,
what I'm
very
talking about.
little about what I learned in high school that I'm like today. Like, oh, I definitely can say that me learning this in Mr. Moore's class is what makes me be good at this. Like, no, that's not how it is.
No, but being number one at a video game, that's pushed through your whole life, bro.
I've remembered it my whole life. I'm not gonna say that it's pushed me like to be
We'll
the,
have to,
to
we'll
be
have to
the
go
guy
and check
who I
that
am
out,
today.
dude. We'll have to go and look. Oh, that was crazy, dude. Yeah, you crushed that. I remember that. That was
I
fun.
know it's still out there because I looked it up not too long ago.
We played zombies all the time. I remember that.
I loved zombies. I still do. Actually, I still don't have Xbox Live right now, but I do have an Xbox One, I think. I don't know. Like, I'm so out of the loop on that stuff.
Yeah.
But I do have an Xbox, and not Vanguard, but the one before that. I don't even know which one it is. But I play the zombies on there, but like nothing saves or anything because it's not. I'm not hooked up. I'm not hooked up to online.
Right.
So
you just have fun with it. We should do that sometime.
But it's fun. It's fun.
We play Risk. We would do all types of stuff at our house.
I'll play 12 hours straight of Risk, like just a board game, and with friends. It's so much fun. But people are like, it's not fun when you're losing.
No, but it's fun when it is fun to play.
Yeah,
it's
but
fun to
even
have that
when
chance.
you're losing, you're like, I can come back because that's a game like it's all.
You play your cards right. You play it all. If you roll correctly. I remember some games we got like so close to. I mean, it was crazy.
Yeah, like you can have one move change the entire game.
Yeah.
Just on like because luck of the draw
and
with
then
your dice roll.
There's Aaron who throws just sixes all day long. Just six. You'd be like this.
People say I'm cheating, but it's just I literally hold the die. Like if I'm rolling one, I hold it with the 6 up. And then I spin it just one direction instead of just like rolling it in my hand.
Yeah.
And for some reason that has a I hit.
It hits for you.
I hit sixes.
Yeah, you are cheating. It's okay.
It's not cheating. I literally throw it. I throw it. It's not like I'm sitting above the table and dropping it. I'm throwing it. But yeah, it hits sixes a lot. Elena hates me for that. Whenever we play games, she literally. We were playing just Trouble the other day, and she stood up and left the table. And that's not even when you don't even flick the die. That's the one you press the top.
Oh, really?
And it pops, yeah. And she says she's never beat me in that game, like because our daughter wants to play it, and she also wants to play it. And I just smoked them in that game. It's just like she's never even come close to getting all 4 of her guys in.
Oh, that's so good.
Again, like I'm not cheating. It's just it's a simple game of just luck and there's a little bit of strategy based on pulling people out, but like it's not like I'm not cheating. It's just
dude, that's so fun.
She also hates me like if I get her one guy out, and I could have moved another guy. I'm like, no, it's part of the game. Like I need to
I gotta win.
Yeah, I gotta get you out.
I have to win.
And then she hates me. She'll just be like, I'm done and walk away. And it's just me and my daughter now, and she's like, Mom.
I love that. That sounds that's so you though. That's not.
Yeah, no. When it comes to games, I'm ruthless.
Can you grab me one too?
Yeah, no problem. When it comes to games, I like to win, right? Everybody likes to win. It's not just me. No one goes into any scenario like, oh, I'm here to lose.
Right.
So.
Right.
Like if it's with my daughter.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a little different.
No. When it's with my daughter, I will lose periodically.
Right.
But I still want her to learn that losing is that's a part of life. You're not going to get the part in the play. You're not going to win this.
You want to make her work for it.
Well, not only that, I want her to be. I want it in her head to know how to react to losing. I want her to be able to say, "Good game, you did well."
And want to play again.
Yeah, and then be like, look, we can set it back up and do it again. I don't. Yeah. If you incorporate her winning in every aspect of her life, she's gonna be a brat.
Yeah.
You can't do that. You can't just be like, oh, here, you won again, you won again, you won again. No, she loses a lot because she picks games that she wants to play. That even if it's by luck, there's a little bit of strategy, and I might have more than her because she's 7. So. But I
you ever break it down to her like this is how I'm thinking about this game at all?
Yeah, actually, with the only game that we've done it with right now because she doesn't really like checkers and she wants to play chess.
Oh, okay.
And we haven't started chess yet, but
that's a good one to start.
Connect 4.
Okay.
Connect because you have to think about where they can go and everything. And she's actually
she could do chess, bro. She could totally do chess.
She told me, she said, Dad, I want to have a chess brain. I want to be. And that's
crazy to think that she's on another level. She wants to be an architect.
But. With Connect 4, we had a Christmas get together, and multiple people from our family sat down and played her, and she beat like 4 people, and they were like actually trying.
Yeah.
Because I was like, Like you could see in their face.
That's
like
all strategy, though.
Yeah, and she literally would sit there and go like this, and like look at it, and then she was like, at first she started talking. She'd go, "I can tell you can go here or you can go here." I was like, "No, keep it in your mind."
Yeah.
And then think it out, and then play your piece. But she was
Right.
like telling people where she thinks they can go instead of just playing. But then she started just playing like that, and she
Wow.
was beating people. And I was like, "There you go. You're
Yeah.
getting your chess brain."
Yeah, because if you may think that they know that they can go there and there,
Yeah,
but
they might
don't.
not know, and you're telling them where they can go.
Yeah, you're telling
you know?
you're literally giving the game plan away. That's beautiful,
Which
dude.
is what she was doing, and then as soon as like, no, keep that in your head. That's the chess brain. Keeping that in your head and then playing it out is what's going to benefit you more. And then she just started doing it. She was beating people. She's beat me.
Oh, for real?
Like when I'm
on Connect 4?
playing and paying attention, you know.
Yeah.
Like she's forked me to where like I have to go here, and I'm like, oh, maybe she doesn't see that, and she gets
knows.
me.
Yeah. Dude, she's ready for chess. You're not ready for chess. Oh,
No,
yeah.
I know how to play chess.
Okay.
I like chess. I was actually really good at chess.
Yeah.
But
That's another level game, and those rules don't change.
when
That's a
I
beautiful
say I'm
thing.
really good, like I'm decent enough to where like if I play the average Joe, like I'm probably gonna win. But I'm not like a master. I'm not like 1,800 plus. You know, like score. Like that's not. I'm not that good. I'm not gonna lie and be like, yeah, oh, I'm that good. No.
No, but you enjoy it. That's the thing. I think a lot of people
I'm decent
really
enough to be competitive with most people, not people that are going to tournaments and stuff.
Yeah, no, you can actually sit down and play. We played a bunch too, I think. I was way into chess.
I actually have a really cool Lord of the Rings chessboard right now.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Yeah. I would rather play Risk, but someday we should.
I would rather play Risk too.
Risk is so
I
much
have
fun.
Lord of the Rings Risk too, which is
really
even cooler.
It's cool because the games are like the game mode, like the additional game mode to those games makes it fun.
Yeah, which I usually don't even play because
You just go for
other people that are playing with me, if it's not you, are like when we played the Europe one, we enjoyed that because we like Risk.
I do miss like when you and I and Dan would play because we were all board game nerds. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we would all just like get into it.
Yeah,
or
like
we would pull Eli in, or we would pull different
it
people in.
didn't matter who was there. Like we were there. Like
If
other
we
people,
got
other
enough
people would
people-
want to back out after like 4 hours into the game.
Not us.
And we were like, no. Like we're not gonna give up. Like even if you just held
No way.
Australia, and I had everything else, you were not gonna quit until I killed every single one of your people out of Australia. You were like, no, I'm gonna take my two every turn.
I'm gonna sit right here.
I'm gonna take my 2 every
100%.
turn.
This is my strategy. I played that sometimes. That was a good strategy if you get it all
If you
based
got
on the
caught,
cards you
if
get.
you got caught, but you basically want to hold a bigger territory to ensure you get more people.
Yeah, it's a good starting point at early game for sure.
Yeah, but that's about it.
That's about it. But yeah, if you can. But the thing is,
But we're also all three stubborn enough to where we're like, if that's all I have left, I'm not going to give up.
yeah.
Like,
If you get cards, and as long as you take a territory, you get cards, and so that's really all that matters.
Yeah.
It's all strategy. We love chat. We love Risk.
Board games are good.
Yeah,
I like board games.
Board games are fun. We have a bunch of different ones. I played a ton of different ones. There used to be a board game place in Goshen that would go play different board games
I've
and
heard
stuff.
about that, yeah.
There's now one. It's Fable, but it used to be what was it called? I don't know. It's a famous bookstore, and now they all went to retail. Do you remember Jonathan Miller? I don't know if you remember Jonathan Miller or not. Yeah. Okay, Jonathan Miller.
Wait. Jonathan Miller, like that I went to high school with?
Jonathan Miller was homeschooled in Goshen, and then he moved up to Michigan. And then when
Didn't
we would
know.
did you ever go to my grandma's cabins?
Yeah.
For any of my,
Was he the really big guy?
Did you ever come for my birthdays? Back when I was in high school?
Whoa,
Okay, you came
we went there
in high
for,
school.
Like, the bachelor party.
Okay,
And
then
then
hanging out.
one time before that when we just went up to shoot my shotgun,
Yeah.
like up in the woods,
Yeah.
and blew that tree in half.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was about the
That
only
was a good
time
time.
we did.
I do that with my cousins all the time, dude. We went up like 2 years ago, and we just all sat at the cabin and just shot shotguns and
Yeah.
just hung out.
We were the
Matt
only ones that
Melendez.
shot a tree down.
Yeah,
Put slugs in.
we said we don't need an axe.
we
just have a shotgun.
wanted to see if it'd work, and we shot the first shot, and it put like an 8-inch hole in this tree.
It was a rotten tree. I'm pretty sure.
that
No,
one
it was a
not
real
rotten.
one.
It was like
Dead, but not-
No, it was live. It was like
Okay.
6 to 8 inches in diameter, and we shot through it. I put the gun on the tree, so the entry hole was like an inch, but the exit hole was like 8 inches. And then you were like, "Hey, that's really loud," because it was a slug. And you were like, "We probably shouldn't do that again." You know?
Yeah.
And I was like, "All right, yeah, there's an old lady." And then I put another one in and shot it again.
Yeah.
And then we were done.
Yeah, then we were done. Then we shot pistol. We did shoot the shoot. Did we throw clays and
we
shoot
did clay pigeons, and then we also set stuff up in that tree
line and shot at that.
That I'm pretty sure honestly faced that old lady's house and shot your pistol.
No,
I mean, if we missed,
she was way more over. Yeah, and
you couldn't even see her house.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
but
it was going down to the ground.
I think we shot your pistol at that tree a lot.
Yeah, I think so too. Or maybe it was Dan's pistol. I think Dan was up there too.
Yeah, it might have
yeah. No, that was good times.
It was a great time.
My buddy Jonathan Miller used to work for this place, so but you probably don't know him.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah. I was thinking I went to school with a Jonathan Miller.
Yeah,
but I was like, you definitely don't know him.
I mean, if he's in this area, probably.
He is, but he went to Fairfield, and he did not hang. Like, I never hung out with him outside of school. I just know him, so I was like, I know that guy, but no, it's a different Jonathan Miller.
All the people I know from Fairfield are from you, basically.
Yeah,
it's interesting.
That makes sense, though.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a couple that we've overlapped where, like, you knew someone, and I was like, oh, yeah, I know them, but, like, I never hung out with them. Like Hayden, we didn't hang on.
I hung out with Hayden before I knew you hung out with him. He went to Goshen, but
okay, so, like, I met him from you then.
No, he might have been going to Fairfield. I think he might have went to Fairfield, bro.
I'm honestly not sure, because I'm pretty sure that you introduced me.
No, he went to Goshen. He went to Goshen.
Yeah, you introduced me to him, and then we had a lot of mutual friends.
No, there was someone else introduced him because it was crazy the day that I found.
Probably Tony.
It was crazy. Yeah, he knew Tony really well. They hung out all the time.
Which sucks.
Yeah. Rip Tony, dude. R.I.P. Yeah, I know that was crazy. The fact I was in Florida when I saw that he died. I was like, this is crazy.
He literally messaged me multiple times, and like we were responding back and forth, like 2 months before it happened. Yeah, he was like, "Hey man, like hope you're doing well and everything," and then just.
The weird thing is like COVID, and so COVID kind of like everything got a little weird. Not that you don't want it, because Tony would be someone that would come over into your life semi-regularly. It wasn't like
he was for a while,
it wasn't like it was weird if he would have come over to your house. You know what I mean? And I would see him semi-regularly. But then when COVID stopped, I stopped doing things that I normally did, and like kind of all the extra stuff just got out of my life a little bit. You know, I think that happened for most.
For me, also, I wouldn't even say it was COVID. It was mainly having kids.
Yeah, having kids, just life. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think that's part of it. And so it's like it just.
Which I'm not gonna say that I'm like, oh, I regret kids. No, kids are great, and like my kids are great, especially. It changes life, which isn't a bad thing. Yeah. It does change things. It's made me a better person having kids. Yeah. You know? Yeah. So I can't say it's a bad thing.
No, that's just it's a new responsibility. It's a different season.
Yeah.
It's a different season. It's okay.
I've moved on in my life to something different, which I will. Even with having kids, I'll move on to a different stage.
Because I was over at your house and Eden was there. This was probably 3 or 4 years ago, and Tony stopped by. Yeah. And so like it wasn't. Yeah. It sucks. I feel like COVID kind of got weird things too. Because like I would see him out here.
I wouldn't even say it was COVID that got with him.
For me. I'm talking for me.
Yeah. Okay.
With COVID for me, it was weird.
I meant like with him directly. Like I was like, I don't think it's COVID. I think it was when he got cancer.
No. I'm saying the fact that I have not seen him as much as I wish I would have.
Yeah.
It's because of for me probably like for me it was probably because of COVID. Because the places I would see him at, I stopped going to those places.
Yeah.
And hanging out like I've hung out with Hayden once, and we would hang out all the time.
Yeah.
Now maybe it was seasons and change, but we would see each other at things, and we just stopped doing those things because
I haven't seen Hayden in forever either. Yeah. I can't remember the last.
I went to his house. His house is pretty cool. He's been on this podcast a couple times. Shout out to Hayden. I doubt he listens, but he might listen. Shout out to Hayden.
No, yeah, I really enjoyed being around Hayden. Hayden was cool.
Yeah, Hayden's dope. I need to text him. I need to hang out with him. He texted me a couple times while I was in Florida. He's a good dude.
No, he's a good dude.
He's such a homie.
He's one of those people you're like, hey man, would you like if I needed to, which I never did, but like if I was like, hey, could you help me with this or something?
He's the type of guy who calls you too.
Yeah,
like, I like
instead
that.
Of texting,
instead of texting,
like, impersonal. Yeah,
it's kind of nice.
A lot of people are like, oh, I hate when you call me. Like, I don't mind a phone call.
I don't think. Yeah, it's something like, hey, I want to hear your voice. Hey, this is It's a little bit more real.
It's just more personal.
Yeah,
like, you can't. It's really
like
hard.
when you called me today. You know what I mean? You could have texted me, but I just picked up. It was.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I could have just. I was in the car and I was like, oh, I should hit him up, and I didn't even think to text you because if I'm going to talk to you, someone that I care about and everything, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna call him. You know, like I might text you if it's something that's simple, like, hey.
Yeah, here's this or whatever.
Yeah, but like here's a video. Here's a video I watched that I think you'd like.
Yeah.
But no, like if I want to talk to you, I want to talk to you. I
Yeah.
don't want to just message you.
Yeah, I need to call people more too. I think it's a lost art. I mean,
It's becoming a lost art. Yeah, that's for
I do
sure.
a lot of calls for work, so I'm getting better at. I
Talking
call
to people.
Yeah, and just like if you never talk to someone too, it's kind of weird when you like first talk to them.
Yeah, I don't even want to say it's like an acquired skill, but like the
It's
more
weird, dude.
and more
Yeah.
that we're in this earth and today,
Yeah,
like
people don't do it. But that's the crazy thing because I found for a long time, like I would just email people and I would call sometimes. But I found if I call someone and then email them, they're more likely to buy from me because
Yeah.
I'm
because
trying
you put your
to,
face out there and they have a face to the email and they're like, oh wait, okay, yeah,
or a voice like this guy
us that
called.
face,
Yeah,
like you did a video chat. No, yeah,
But
they have
for
a
real, yeah.
they have a voice to the email. They're like, okay, right, he sounds like a solid guy, or whatever.
Yep.
They'll at least respond, even if they're not gonna buy. You
Yeah,
know?
they're more likely to respond. And I think someone told me it's like 7 points of contact before someone makes a decision. And so
That was the same thing in high school. Like they said that like if you did not see something or learn something 7 times before like you would actually remember it.
Yeah, it gets
But you
processed.
had to write it and then look at it and then like same thing. Like you need to it's not even that you're being annoying. There's times when I see an ad and I'm like, I'm never gonna buy that product.
Yeah.
And then like the 6th or 7th time I'm like, let me look into that product. You
Yeah.
know? Like that's why
Yeah.
Facebook's like that too. You know, just to get being. It's not that you're even being annoying. Sometimes it's annoying, but like,
It
it's
is,
not that
yeah.
you're necessarily being annoying. But
It's
like,
annoying if you call it every single day.
yeah, that's annoying.
Yeah.
But-
I do a monthly rotation. I try to I have
Just
like
checking up on people.
yeah,
you know?
yeah. And then I get my voice on that. But yeah, I'm telling you, it's interesting because I think everyone nowadays goes by like Facebook or email, but phone calls work, dude. It's weird.
Phone calls work.
It's like it cuts through a lot of stuff in a weird way. So yeah, I don't know.
Oh yeah, phone calls definitely work. There's been times where I've done things with phone calls and I'm like, I didn't think that would work, but
Yeah.
it works. you know?
100%.
So
Yeah, I'm glad you called me though.
no, I'm glad I called you. Like I said, like I'm free this week, so I was like, I'll see what he's doing. It was just ironic that you were free right now. I was like,
Yeah,
I got
know. I was like, I got
things
this
I'm
day
headed
and this
to do,
day.
and then I was like, okay, well, I'll stop over. I'm there.
That's perfect, dude. Yeah, I had stuff I was gonna do today, but then all freed up like before I got
Right
my,
when I called you, basically.
yeah, like an hour before you did.
Yeah.
And I would have said, nah, I got this or that, but
That was fate. That was fate.
Yeah.
It was perfect. Like I could have called you tomorrow, and you'd be like, I'm busy. I'm
know.
busy.
yeah,
It was today.
yeah. Or I would have been hang out like in the evening, but it would have been like 8:30, and that wouldn't have been a good time to hang out.
No, I'd be
yeah.
asleep.
Yeah,
I wake up at like I wake up at 3:30 in the morning to go to work.
Yeah.
So like it would not yeah, I like to at least get 6 to 8 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
So it
Yeah.
would not have been good.
That's not bad though. Yeah, that's a little rough. 3:30 is a little rough. Is the drive pretty rough?
No.
A lot of people or no?
There are a lot of people out when I drive in the morning, but
Mm-hmm.
from where I live to where I drive, I actually drive against the main like current of people. All the
nice.
people are driving into Goshen to go to the other industrial parks and the other RV factories
Yeah.
and stuff. And I'm like one of maybe 5 people driving south on 15.
Oh wow,
Yeah, and then
that's
so
nice.
It's and then I'm also like one of 5 people maybe heading
Bad.
west on 15.
Where
Like,
everyone else is
is
going.
coming. Everyone else is filtering into Goshen, and I'm heading away and then
And
away.
when you're heading into Goshen,
Yeah, I'm heading into Napanee, and everyone else, if they are funneling into Napanee, they're basically coming down 6 the other way or on 19 down, and I don't pass those people. So
Yeah,
I don't hit much traffic ever. It basically takes me the exact amount of time to get to work every day.
that's kind of nice.
Yeah, like
That's really nice.
yeah.
Do you go like 119? You get over
No.
119,
Because I live on 40, so I just
Okay.
take 40
all the way
over
down.
to 15. No, to 15,
Oh, okay.
then south to 6.
And
And
then
I
6
only
in.
I only do that for the gas mileage. Like
Oh,
if I'm on the country roads, because I drive stick, right? So
Yeah.
I just put it on cruise control and I average like 40 miles to the gallon. So if I hit go the back roads, I have to stop and then like accelerate again, and it lowers my miles per gallon. That's like I'm a dad. I save money and I try to get my miles per gallon.
No, that's such a good
That's it.
reason, though. That's such a
That's
good
it.
reason.
And it takes the same amount of time, but I don't have to I don't have to shift as much. And
Right.
I
Just
get
vibe.
I get better gas mileage, and I get to listen to a little bit more of my music in the
Yeah.
morning, and then
That's not a bad drive either. That's 30 less than 30 minutes.
yeah.
I would say.
If I drive, here's it. Like I said again, because I'm I'm worried about gas mileage. Like if the speed limit's 55. I'm that grandma that does 55, like at best, you know, like I'll
Really?
do, yeah, because I mean I leave for work early enough to where like I'm there in the parking lot like 30 to 40 minutes before work starts anyway.
No way.
Like,
Okay.
I don't care. Like
Yeah.
I'm driving on the road.
You're taking your
for
time.
my gas mileage. That's it. That's why I'm on the road. But yeah, so I'll do that, and I'll just like every now and again, if someone's like riding my tail, I'll slow down. You know? just to like assert dominance, let them know like I got nowhere to be. I got 40 minutes, man.
Oh my gosh!
know?
And they're trying to get to work.
I think that too many people just rush. I don't even think that they need to be there. Some people I'm at work 30 minutes early, like, and by the time frame that I'm leaving, most of the time they pull off, right? So like, I know they're close to their destination because like the smart cabinetry and stuff like that's around there.
Right.
So it's not like me being a jerk. It's that like I know they're so close to their destination. People like to drive fast. They need to chill
try
out.
and get there.
You know, like.
Yeah, they're gonna get there to work.
Yeah, and not only that, like I know the time frame. I know what time places start. No one starts at like 5:15,
right,
or 4:15. Like that's not a time. They're speeding to get to a place that they're gonna sit in the parking lot, look at their phone for the next 45 minutes.
Is that what you do? Just look at your phone and chill?
No,
it's kind of like a free time, or what do you do?
I go in early and I actually prep like our entire work area for like what we're about to do in the morning. Yeah. So like.
Make sure everything's easy, ready to roll.
Yeah, I get things around so that like we can, because it's an RV factory, so like when we do get done, you leave, right? So I get everything prepped to where all the guys who have been drinking heavy the night before or stayed up too late and don't go to bed and try to get 6 to 8 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
Had a date and they stayed out at a bar, you know, like all those things, all the different scenarios that other people are like, oh, this is just my life. I have everything ready so that when we come into work. We can work, and they don't have to be scatterbrained and be like, "Oh, what do I need to do?" It's ready. It's set up. Just go to the floor.
So you get like even the pieces of stuff ready for them if they're like or just everything's good to go.
It's not even like pieces.
Maybe
of stuff.
Not. Yeah, but
like so I do tile. So, but it's at an RV factory where like we're laying tile on tables that are stacked up basically to where like we can lay the tile without bending over. I mean, you still lean over the table to put them on like the middle of the floor. I work at Newmar, so like we do like high end motor coaches, right? So like. Our cheapest unit is probably like $300,000.
Wow. Okay.
And then we go up to like $1.5 million before options.
Oh wow.
Like,
okay.
Yeah.
So that's just stock.
Like we just built a unit for Kevin Harvick.
No way.
Like
okay.
The NASCAR driver who's like I don't know a lot about NASCAR, but I know he's one of the best NASCAR drivers to ever be around.
Hey,
and his unit was custom on a lot of it. We did custom stuff for his unit. So I guarantee it was probably close to $2 million for this unit that he's going to take to all of his NASCAR
all of his events
and
everything. Yeah.
But yeah, so like I get things set up in the morning to where.
So you just get like material ready for them, or just
so
that they don't have to go run and grab new material.
They literally come in and like it sounds weird, but we put on like work aprons because you're mudding tile and stuff, so you don't get mud on your clothes. We wear an apron basically like you're in the kitchen, you know?
Right.
Essentially, that has pockets for like your tools and stuff, and we so I get everything set up to where all they have to do is come in, put their apron on, and go to the table.
And they just go.
That's it.
That's easy.
Yeah.
Because once they get done, then you're free to go home.
That's a part of our job. Like we finished building the floors, and then the same day we go back through the 8 floors that we build or whatever, and you have to level them, so you knock the wedges off and everything. It's not like a super long process, but like we'll build 8 45-foot floors in less than 4 hours.
Is your daily? So
my daily tasks change.
Okay.
Everybody else's basically stays the same because like I'm not a swing man in our department. But like, I will build the main floors, and then we have this, the rear baths basically, so where like there's a step up in the back of the unit from the master bedroom that goes into the bathroom that's the master bathroom, right? Because there's 2 bathrooms in these units.
Oh, geez, yeah.
Yeah. So like, and full washer and dryer, full kitchen.
What was this Kevin Reddick?
Kevin Harvick.
Kevin Harvick needs 2 bathrooms.
That's not just. No, I'm not saying just.
So this is the base stuff.
This is just everything.
Yeah, this is the high end.
Not of it. Most everything. There's a couple of units that have like just a mid bath, and then that's it. But but most of the stuff we sell has 2 baths, like a full bath and a half bath in the middle.
Gotcha. One for the master bedroom.
Because a lot of houses that I've been in don't even have 2 baths.
Yeah.
It's just not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but it's a kind of a flex. A little bit. It's we're
not even the highest RV like.
What is that? Grand Design, maybe.
Grand Design is actually owned by the same place that owns us.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Is it all Thor?
No. I don't even know. I don't know if Thor's owned by us, but Winnebago owns.
Really?
Newmar. They own
snap.
Grand Design. They own a lot of the really high end stuff.
Interesting. Okay, because there's Forest River. There's Thor, which owns
Keystone.
Thor Industries owns 11 RV companies. It did, at least in 2016 when
Winnebago owns a lot of what they...
Winnebago owns a bunch too. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And so they own us. And ever since they bought us out, our pay has gone up.
Oh, interesting. When did they buy you out?
Before I started there.
Okay.
So, like, I was working at ATC, and then I switched from ATC, and, like, from being... I was a team leader, like, group leader, essentially. Just call it team leader. But me being a team leader at ATC, I jumped up in pay by going and being a grunt at Newmar by over $10 an hour.
Wow.
Yeah. Which is significant for a lot of people that are working minimum wage jobs. Like that's a lot of money.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's I've heard every $1 raise you get is $2,000 to your take home pay.
Yeah.
And so that's an additional basically $20,000.
Yeah.
That just to take home because it jumped up $10. That's crazy.
Yeah, like last year
cool.
I didn't even work at Newmar a full year, and my W-2 showed that I think I made over... I think I only worked 2/3 of the year. My W-2 showed gross was over $70,000.
Dang. Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that wasn't even a full year.
No, it was.
Yeah.
It was.
No,
it was 8 months.
RVs are the way.
I've only been there for almost a year. April 12th is a year for me.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you like it?
I do like it.
Yeah.
I actually applied for the group leader position because my boss is 66 and he's retiring in July.
Yeah. So why
So
not
if I apply to his job, it's not only more money, but it's like I'm a company type person.
Well, but
so
you're already showing up 30 minutes before to prep everything.
more than that. No,
45.
Yeah.
I mean, that's gonna fit right inside of what you're doing right there, anyways.
Yeah. No, like, but I've always been like that. Even if I wasn't gunning for a job, like I did that from day one. It wasn't like like a lot of people who apply for that job, you can tell they're acting different.
When they apply,
they're acting different now. You know,
Yeah.
it's like,
yeah.
and I've never done it to be like, I've never done it with like the mindset and the standout to be like, oh, I'm.
Yeah, but you get they see that.
Yeah,
they see the work value. The things you're doing.
I've always liked to be good at what I do, no matter what it is.
Yeah.
And
you gotta be number one.
And be.
You gotta be 200 kills in on domination. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I like to be irreplaceable. I like to be an asset to the team.
Yeah,
You know?
I feel that though. That's not a bad thing.
No,
I like
it's
to
not
win.
a bad thing. I enjoy doing that.
I think people see that too. I mean,
No, it definitely stood out because like my group leader walked up to me when he said that they were he told us after work one day that he had put in his note because he was supposed to retire in November, and then he was like, hey, I'm actually going to retire in July. He told us at the end of the workday one day, and we were all like, whoa, we were not expecting that. And you could tell that people weren't expecting that because guys in the group who were like, oh, I'm going to apply for his job. Their work ethic hadn't changed at all until he said that day, oh, no, then I only have 2 months. And they were all like, I'm going to start coming in early and I'm going to start doing what Aaron's doing, you know, like,
yeah.
And not just me, but they did things different, you know, than what
because
they
they knew there was a possibility.
Yes, the openings, the window is way shorter now for them to be like, oh, I got to stand out now when I've been not trying to stand, but just doing things different than other people do the whole time, you know.
Yeah.
My boss came to me after that. He had that conversation. I stayed over and talked to him right after. I was like, hey, I've been meaning to talk to you about, like, I know you were going to retire in November, and I'm the person who, like, my goal is not just, you know, moving up and to be a group leader. It's not for the money. It's for fulfillment. Like, I like to be good at what I do. I like handling responsibility.
Yeah.
I like being needed, and I like being someone coming to me like, hey, we have a problem. What do we do? And then assessing.
Problem solving.
I like doing that. I like doing that stuff. And he said, look, this is between you and me. But when they came to me, like the plant manager came to the group leader and said, hey, like, you know you're retiring. Who do you have that you think could take your spot and be good at it? And he's like, I gave him one name and I gave him your name.
That's cool.
So, but like, there's guys. Like,
did you apply for it?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, okay.
I had my interview already, but they do rounds of interviews because it's a big position. Like, they don't have very many group leader jobs that open up, right? So they had like 30 people interview for that job, and now they're gonna
do the ones that they think. We'll move on to the next one.
Moving on to round 2 of interviews, basically. So like, there might be 2 or 3 rounds of interviews before they pick somebody. But I was told after my interview that I was a very, very, very high candidate for the
That's
job,
cool.
and that I'm basically guaranteed a second interview, which I haven't had yet. But yeah, that's nice to know that I have the opportunity.
That'd be cool,
now
man. That'd be super cool. They should see that.
Yeah,
see the work ethic and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, and like I told him, I said I've only been here a year. I'm not like if the rule
Yeah, but
is
still, a year is a long time because the
Yeah.
turnover
Well,
rate.
I mean,
is pretty high.
I was also a group leader before I came there.
Right.
You know, like
Right.
I have knowledge of being a group leader and talking to people and know the biggest thing about in my perspective of being a group leader is knowing your audience. You can't just talk to everybody the same. You can't just be like a dictator or be like super mellow. You have to know who you're talking to each day, and not only just who you're talking to, but like that individual might change on a daily basis. You have to know who goes through those swings, and you know that their life is not just like, oh, I come to work and do the same thing every day. You have to know who you're talking to and be like, look, this guy, like you have to ask a question in the morning and see how they respond and be like, okay, maybe today's not a good day. Like I can't make jokes with this person today like I normally can.
Yeah.
It's not like tiptoeing and
No, but you're assessing each person.
You can't just come in and be like, what up, faggot? You know, like you can't do that. You can't make it. Even though that guy, like, that's his favorite word. You're like, hey man, he's like gets mad, just cusses you out.
That day he gets mad.
Yeah, and then you're like, whoa, do you normally? And he goes to HR. Now you're out of a job. You know, like just simple stuff. You can't do that. Even if he's your best friend, but he had a terrible fight with his wife last night.
Yeah,
it's on the brink of whatever,
and
you come in and you're like, whoa, and you say a stupid joke, and he's like, dude, that's it.
Yeah.
Like you, it's not even just projection. He's taking something out on you that you didn't do. You know, like you gotta be careful. You gotta know how to.
Yeah, you know how you have to. I do the same thing.
Yeah, it's not being a baby with your words or anything. It's like you gotta be able to play the field in the sense of knowing how to talk to everybody.
I think that's why we clicked way back when we were 12 and 14, dude. Because I was like, this guy knows. Because you have to like maneuver through the situation. You gotta be able to handle different situations and talk. That's beautiful. Okay, so I got a question for you. When do you work out?
Typically after work.
Okay. And then you go home.
No, I work out at home.
Yeah,
I have a full gym at home.
So you work, home, and then you work out.
Yes.
Okay.
I go home, use the bathroom. Then I go downstairs with my water and everything and start working out.
Is it like an hour or what's your...
It totally depends on how I feel from like this weekend I had an arm wrestling tournament, right? So like today I literally went down in 2 different sessions. Like one time I went down and just did a little bit of blood flow because I was sore from the tournament. And then I went back down like 2 hours. I went upstairs, took a nap, and then went back downstairs and did another session of just more blood flow because like my arms...
So what's a blood flow session?
It's like lightweight, high reps, or just even like sets of like 30 and 50 on your sets and everything, or reps. Because I'm not doing max effort 2 days after a huge tournament.
You're just getting things rolling.
My bones in my arms and my muscles in my arms hurt really bad.
Yeah.
So like it's
from pulling. Let's tell everyone real quick. You are an arm wrestler.
Yes.
And you're a really good arm wrestler.
I'm decent. Yeah.
Yeah. Some would say he's one of the best. I mean, not yet. You've not hit the scoreboard yet. I've
hit the scoreboard in Indiana right now. In Indiana, I'm probably because the weight classes are weird. So like if you're going to like nationals for wrestling, this might make more sense to you. But for arm wrestling, like at the world level, it's every 5 kilos, which is 11 pounds.
Okay.
Right? So you do like 132s, 143s, 54s, 65s, something like that. Okay. But in the United States, unless you're going to nationals, the nationals is the only tournament that'll do the same exact weight class as that because you're qualifying for worlds. But most tournaments will do because that's just too many classes, right? Yeah. Unless you have a huge group of people, which Michigan State should almost do that.
Okay. But how do they break it down?
The weight classes at 90% of all tournaments in the United States go 154, 176, 198s, 220s, 242s, and then heavyweights.
Okay.
So it's every 22 pounds, every 10 kilos is what it is. Okay. So they just basically cut the weight classes in half.
So if you're 300 pounds, you might go against someone who's 250. Or you might go against someone who's like 275.
Yeah, exactly. Like a lot of the heavyweights of this weekend were like 260 to 320.
Yeah.
It just depends.
Yeah.
So
how long have you been arm wrestling?
July 27th of this year will be 4 years.
Wow. Yeah.
But in my second year of arm wrestling, I was ranked fourth or fifth. I beat the number Okay, I'm not sure if I beat number 4 and number 5 in the nation at 154s because I can't remember if it was before or after I beat him that another guy beat him and took his ranking. So I don't remember if it was me that pulled him first and won. But anyway, I've been ranked in the top 5 at 154s in the nation, left-handed. And then right-handed, I broke top 10 a couple times. And then left-handed right now, I think after this weekend that we just pulled, I think I also broke top 10 again. But in the weight class up. So I'm in the 176.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So I stopped.
Do you put on weight to do it?
Well, basically, like when I was cutting I was cutting weight to make 54s,
Okay.
right? Because I did it, like I was so engulfed in just like the arm wrestling world as a whole to where I wanted to make a name for myself fast, right?
Yeah.
And the best way to do that was to be like basically use it as like a UFC type atmosphere and be like,
Yeah.
okay, you're not going to be the best unless you're cutting weight and putting weight back on.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
I couldn't cut weight like everybody else though.
Oh, really?
I couldn't do the water loading and cutting because I have epilepsy.
Oh,
so I couldn't drink like the 2-3 gallons of water a day
and then just like
and then cut because it's going to dehydrate your brain and then I will have a seizure. And like so like it's not really going to be good for the tournament.
You can't win at that point.
So I was doing like really really hard fasts. So I would still drink the normal water I would drink and I would eat raw liver for like the nutrients and stuff, but like I would do like a 2 to 3 day fast and then eat steak, a little bit of rice, and then raw liver just for like the vitamins and minerals because raw liver is the most nutrient-dense food in the world.
Yeah. It doesn't taste great.
When it's raw. No, when it's raw, it's not fine. It's fine.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you don't even chew it. I just put like little cubes in my mouth, put a little water, and swallow it. It's
Oh,
fine.
okay.
And you actually get high from it. Like
really?
Euphoric anyway. Like it's a crazy.
Which
high.
liver?
I
Cow?
do beef liver, I
Beef?
do lamb
Okay.
liver, but like beef is the best like overall.
Do you have to figure out like where you sourced it to? Like,
I get Amish,
Okay.
to where there's no hormones or
Yeah.
like they're not shooting steroids or
they're
hormones.
like grass fed off
It's
and
great,
grass finished.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So and it's good. It's not bad.
yeah.
The first time I did it, I tried to chew it. Don't chew it.
Yeah,
like
just
it's
swallow
just like it's because it's grainy. It's grainy, and a lot of people mistake liver for being like, oh, it filters toxins out of the body. Yeah, it doesn't hold on to them. That's not how it works. It's not like you're eating stuff that's
Like toxic.
yeah. That's not how it works. Like if you actually look it up, like you get more vitamin C out of liver than you'll ever get out of oranges and strawberries. And
Wow.
more like quadruple, quintuple, like anything more than that. Like
Wow.
you get more natural B12 and vitamin C and iron and all those things that you need out of raw liver. You don't have to eat a lot. Like when you hear the word 100 grams,
Yeah.
it might sound like a lot, but it's meat. So it's literally like take your fingers and like do this, and you have like 2 little 2-inch cube steaks.
Yeah.
You know, like
And you just.
and you eat those. And you take like 6 bites, and that's 100 grams. You don't even need to do it every day. It's like once a week.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah,
So you do
like-
it once. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's what I would do. But like when you do it for like the first time,
You feel high.
yeah, it's like not even just high from like smoking, but like if you ever done shrooms, like
that.
the beginning stage, like not visuals, but like the beginning stage of like when you ate shrooms and then everything starts to just look super sharp and like clean,
Gotcha.
and you're like, man, everything is beautiful, and it gives you so much natural energy. So like when I first did it, I was like, I'm gonna throw up when I eat this. I'm gonna throw up. I've watched all these videos on it and seen people like doing it, talking about it. And then
Did they throw up when they did?
no.
No,
That's
okay,
why I was
so-
like, but I was like, I'm gonna throw up just
Yeah.
by looking at it and everything. So
Wow.
then I tried it. You know, it was the first time I did it. It was like, oh, I'm trying to chew it, right? And then I just started like halfway through, I started just swallowing it with water, and it was way better. So that's the way I do it from now on.
Yeah.
From then on, but like yeah, after I did it, it was like not even 40 minutes.
How long is the high?
Man,
With the liver.
it just depends. It depends on how much you ate and compared to like if your stomach was empty and if it wasn't.
Crazy.
But like
man.
when I first did it, my wife was like, "You're acting like you are so high," but not in a bad way. Like I'm stumbling or anything. She's like, "Why are you so happy?" And I was
Yeah.
like, "I ate liver." Like it literally gives you like you
A
have like
euphoria, yeah,
So,
you're just
it's so,
vibing.
but it's so strong.
You're straight
Like, I
vibing.
literally looked at her and I was like, "I'm gonna go outside and do yard work." I went outside, mowed the yard, raked leaves, burned leaves. Played with the kids in the front yard, running around. Oh, dude! And I had so much energy. I was so happy.
Wow.
The whole time, it was nuts.
Off of beef liver. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I
I've got like 4 pounds in my house right
You
now.
really?
If you want some,
I
like,
might try some. Yeah.
It's nuts. Every person
trying
that's
to
ever
get
come to my house, I'm like,
loaded.
I can't believe you do that. Can't believe you do that. Can't believe you do that. And I was like, try it. I'll give
Yeah.
you $50.
No, I don't.
It.
I'm not against the liver thing. I think when you're talking about the nutrient density
It
of
is.
a liver.
I can show you the chart.
No, you're 100%. That's what I've seen.
It's
and
a
people,
superfood.
it's the thing.
It's
People,
a superfood.
Yeah, yeah. I just think the high thing is the interesting thing, and so that's like because you get the nutrients and you get high. Like that sounds dope.
And I honestly can't tell you what is in it that gives you that high.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's like the B12.
DMT.
I don't know.
Just
I don't
DMT.
know if it's like the if it's like the B12 because like so many people are like, oh, I get B12, I get B12. What people don't realize is like even eating red meat, which should have B12 in it, right? When they eat that, it's been cooked.
Yeah.
So whether they choose like unless it's like blue, like blue on getting cooked, if you cook it, you kill it, right? Essentially, it's like you might get protein out of your steak,
but you're not getting all of it.
But you're not.
What about like a super raw?
All the enzymes
the
are getting fried out of it, right? So like
blue super raw.
Exactly. So like if you're eating like what it could be like filet mignon or this or whatever, and like
right, but if it's
you're getting it well done, you're all you're eating is protein, and then
I like mine raw. And the thing is, bacteria can't get through those layers, so there's no bacteria in the middle, and so you're literally getting the best.
And
I think it's the best
A lot
taste.
of people also think that like when they're eating a steak that is considered blue or medium well, they're like, oh, there's so much blood in it.
Yeah,
it's not blood. It's actually proteins.
It's just like
if you look up what the redness is in that type of meat, it's not blood. It's like
that's
proteins.
interesting.
It's like compact proteins. Like I'm sure there might be some blood, but it's like the main redness that comes out of the meat when you're cutting it up. It's not blood. It's not. It's the protein enzymes that are coming out of it.
Yeah, I know.
It's red meat.
When you cook a steak, you want to let it sit, so all that stuff just like comes into it. Yeah. So
that's why I really like That's why I really like steaks that are sous vide.
Okay.
Have you had that before?
I've not.
If you go to Rue in Napanee,
they do that.
Yeah, they make all their. If you have their ribeye, it's one of the best ribeyes that I've ever had. It's like $30, but they do sous vide, right? So it's like vacuum sealed bags with the potatoes,
in water, right?
And then they boil it in water to where like all the stuff that would essentially be taken out of it is just getting soaked right back into the meat. Yeah, and it's phenomenal.
Does it cook all the way through though?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you want it, if you don't want it,
can you do it raw?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Do they at the end grill it or no?
I think they sear it really quick.
Just sear it like a minute or something.
Yeah, I think they might. Might just put like the grill marks in it.
Yeah,
that's about it.
I mean, that's all you need. It's cooked.
Yeah.
You don't need to sit there cook a little bit longer. Yeah,
no, it's fine.
That Rue in where you Napanee?
Rue 152 is what it's called.
In Napanee or Warsaw?
Napanee.
Okay.
And I'm not gonna lie, it is not cheap. But
no, is that a brewery too? I've heard really good things about that.
The guy who actually was the master brewer at Evil Czech, they hired for down there. They went all out at Rue. Like they paid.
Napanee needed a nice spot like that.
It's a very nice spot.
They needed a nice spot like that. So what do you rank now? What did you say?
Oh, I'm not even sure. Like I'm on the Midwest ranking committee. So I in the world, right, or in the U.S. anyway, I'm not even sure what I'm ranked. Like I don't even know if I am ranked right now in the
U.S.
In the U.S. because once I had kids and everything, and like I put my name out there and everything, I stopped going to as many tournaments. Yeah.
Because you got out there, and now you're just
doing your thing. So like people when I go to a tournament,
because you were going all over the place.
Dude, my first year, I went to like 30 tournaments. It was like every other weekend I was going to a tournament, if not back-to-back weekends. Yeah, and that was too much. It was like I was spending too much time away from my family and my wife, and it was just like it was good for me to go out and get the experience and have the knowledge, which had made me the pooler I am today, but you can't do that forever. Like once you get to being a higher level of pooler, like you can't go out all the time. Like right now, I think it's been like 4 months since I went to one, and then I went last weekend.
Do you go just to the big ones now? Would you say?
Essentially, yeah. So like this weekend was the biggest tournament in the United States ever.
And that was in Michigan?
Yeah, Michigan.
Is majority of pullers like in the Midwest? Are they? No, where's like the biggest?
The arm wrestling capital of the United States is actually Petaluma, California.
Oh, really?
But that's from like years ago. So like Petaluma still has a lot of really big pullers, and California still has a lot of really big pullers. Okay. But right now, I mean, like the entire United States is just
all over the place.
There's like the best 220-pound puller to even 198. He can cut if he wants to. He's from Louisiana.
Oh wow!
Then the best 176-pound puller, I think he lives like in Nebraska. And then the 165, 154, he lives in Iowa.
Oh wow! Yeah.
It's just they're
it's
everywhere.
all over the place.
The best 220 to 242 guy is in Ohio. It's just like people are everywhere. You know,
Wow.
it just depends, and that's left and right handed. So I can name people from everywhere.
Yeah.
It's pretty spread out. You know, the sport's growing drastically right now too because of social media.
Because they're seeing it and yeah.
Yeah.
What yeah, so you've been doing it for 4 years. What goes into pulling? Because it's not. Is it all based on strength, or is it technique?
No,
or is
there's so much technique into it. Like you can have a guy who, like, I beat tons of people that are stronger than me. Like people that could do bicep curl more than me or bench press more than me. Like when I first started arm wrestling, I was cutting weight just like 5 to 6 pounds to make 154s, and I actually went and gripped up with a couple guys that were like 200, 220, and
Okay.
they were benching. Like,
gripped up means you
like
are
arm wrestling,
practicing.
like you holding hands, right?
Okay.
So
yeah.
like they weigh like 200, 220, and they're benching over 500 pounds, and they're juicing.
Oh,
Like
okay.
I was
So
pulling guys
yeah.
that were jacked and like on heavy steroid cycles,
Okay.
and they couldn't do anything.
Still
with
just
me.
turn
And I was
them down.
I was like a few months, maybe 6 months at the max into the sport, and a couple of those guys are on our team now because they were like I don't understand how he's doing this,
Yeah.
and
And you were at the like 176 area.
No, I was at 154.
We were at
I was like 50
154
to 70 pounds lighter than these guys.
and still just
And I was just
putting
holding
down.
them with a smile on my face, and they couldn't do anything. And
because it was technique.
I was.
It was a lot of different
It's
things.
unnatural motion, right? So like, it wasn't just technique. I had the technique, but at the same time, it was the positioning on the table and the directions you need to pull yourself and training your arms. Like, it's not natural. Like when you're arm wrestling in high school, your arm's like on a table and you're just moving your arm, right?
Yeah.
That's how you break your arm or break
okay.
your opponent's arm. You have, like, people are like, oh, when you move your body, that's not fair. You got to think about it like this. If you're locked up with someone and you're holding hands, arm wrestling, and you go to turn your body, if your arm can't support the weight that your body is putting into your arm, then your arm's going to leave your body, right?
Yeah.
So it's not, your arm has to be as strong as your body. If your arm can't hold your body up, then it's not working, right? So it's not unfair to use your body if your arm's strong enough to do it, and it's safer. It's safer. Like if you're in a tournament,
and it's kind of natural too. Like you probably
Exa-
do you pull your shoulder back and like get a resting hand?
It just depends on what you're doing.
And then
It depends on what you're doing. It depends on like the
where it's at, but that naturally just sits there.
yeah.
all the time,
Like if you just
compared
go
to
like
this, right?
Think about it like this. Like I don't know if the video's on and they're seeing
is,
this or not,
yeah.
but like if you have your arm like this, or I'll do it left-handed so they can see it. If you have your arm like this, go like this.
It's like a 90-degree angle from his arm right now.
That's as far as I can tilt my arm this way. That's as far.
Yeah, it
External rotation. That's as far as I can move my arm.
Yeah, you're pushing
And
your
then
hand
from
back.
here, it takes like 8 to 18 pounds of pressure to snap the bone in my arm.
Really? Okay.
But if I go like this and I'm losing and I follow my arm down, I can go down and lose, right?
As far as you want, yeah.
Yeah, that's the benefit of moving your arm. So like when you see those videos on Facebook of like the guy arm wrestling the girl and they're like pulling on a bed and she's like, oh, and her arm just snaps. Yeah, if she would follow her arm down, she'd been fine.
But because she didn't.
Because it's the high school arm
okay.
wrestling where people do that. And like in high school, you might have more of like the green bone to where like you can do that and it's
Right.
not.
Well, and people don't know what they're doing.
No,
They're just
exactly.
like wrestling.
Exactly. But like once you learn how to do that, and like once you get good at it and you've trained your arm, like you might be able to train your arm to like take a hit and get there and like hold it in that bone lock position where like your bone could break, but you're gonna hold it. Like you can.
Oh, interesting. So you're training even all the way out as well. You're training like.
Yeah, it's
You're
weird.
making
It's
sure
weird.
your hand can do all of the movement.
It's weird. Like I might
motion.
do like a dynamic exercise, which is basically like starting with the weight out here and then not moving my body at all, but then like pulling the weight in like this or like down or whatever it is that I'm that I'm wanting to train. But yeah, like there's different exercises that you'll do in like dynamic or static. So like static would be like if I'm going to train back pressure and pull back. I keep my arm locked and I just pull like this with my lat, like this lock in my arm.
You have a machine that you pull from?
I have a full double-ended or 2 cables that come off, like if you're going to do flies or whatever, and I can do from either angle, right? So I'll just turn my table and use like whether it's perpendicular or parallel with my table and train different angles.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I'll do like it's also, you got to think about it like this too, like when you're just pulling with just your arm against somebody, depending on what you're trying to do, right? Having each individual finger as strong as it can possibly be is good. So like there's times where I'll do just pinky reps with a band. and then like
Really?
ring finger reps with a band. Because like think about it, it's like people who are doing like grippers, right? They're trying to get their hand as strong as possible, right?
Yeah.
When you're doing grippers, that might be great. But a lot of times when you're gripping,
It's
your hand is strongest with your wrist bent back. Like this, right? That's when you're gripping. But in arm wrestling, once you lose your wrist and you lose your hand, you can get beat really easily. So you got to learn to grip either like this with like your fingers like this, or even with your wrist bent in, right? So
wow, you're like making a C motion with your
yeah,
hand.
like
That's
you're basically
crazy.
making a flat
Keeping your like wrist straight.
It's called a cup in arm wrestling. You're making your cup to where the other person's hand can't get out of your cup, right? That's what you want to do.
Yeah.
But let's say that
Dang, dude,
while
bro.
you're doing those gripper exercises, right? Whether your hand's like this or not, but you're doing grippers with just like a hand gripper, right? You're like, I can close 100 pounds for 50 reps. Yeah, but which fingers are actually doing that?
First two, right?
Are they?
I don't know.
You don't know. Like even if the gripper is bent to where like these two fingers are the ones that are being applied the most pressure, you would think from being at the bottom. Are these fingers really that strong if they're overcompensating for the bottom?
Yeah. So
you don't know
each individual one.
Does the gripper tell you that?
No, it doesn't. No.
You don't know. So let's say over the course of every week, you have an adjustable gripper, and every week you're like, I'm getting 2 to 5 pounds heavier with my grippers. Well, let's say every week you train individual fingers, and on top of doing grippers, and each finger goes up 5 pounds each week. Now your entire hand goes up exponentially, and you might gain 20 pounds, 25, 30 pounds in a week.
Because
you train individuals.
Interesting.
You don't know which one's overcompensating for the other fingers.
That's so interesting.
Yeah, people.
So like that's part of your workout?
I do a lot of weird stuff. Like if I was to ever go to a gym, people would be like, that guy is such a weak person, because I'll do exercises that look like you're like, wow, he's moving something that's like 25 pounds, and it looks like he's struggling with it. Like something that. But then if I was to have them try it, they would be able to move it.
Right, because you're working one individual muscle.
Yeah,
that's just so isolated.
Whether you're doing an isolation exercise or a compound exercise with a movement, but like the way you're doing it and trying to move that weight might be just. It's super unnatural to the body. Like they've never done it. And if you've never done it, you might jump in the exercise from week to week like drastically, but your first time doing it, you're not gonna be moving much. You know? It's unnatural motion.
Wild. What's the evolution of arm wrestling? Like when did it start, and when it now, and how did it become?
I honestly couldn't tell you when it directly started. I know that the arm wrestling capital of the United States, anyways, Petaluma. But arm wrestling itself, like even back in like Russia, right? Russia used to choose its generals based on arm wrestling strength.
No way.
Yeah, and you can look that up. That's true. It's
that's interesting.
They saw it as like a strategic / strength based thing, and like to be able to beat someone in a hand to hand combat sport and be able to strategize while you're doing it, because arm wrestling is described as like NASCAR and chess.
Oh, okay.
There's a faster reaction time in arm wrestling on them saying ready, go, because you're hearing it, than seeing a light go at NASCAR, right? And then being able to counter move against someone else moving something that fast within a millisecond of it happening.
So as they shift one thing, you're shifting.
You're trying, like if
you're mentally trying to like figure out what they're trying to do.
Yeah, I wish I would have saved video from this last weekend, but I usually wait for the guy who recorded it to put it out, because I also support the guys who are recording that stuff. Yeah. And he does really good videos. Brad Cook from 217 Films on YouTube.
Check him out.
His stuff is
shout out Brad.
Artwork. Brad Cook is amazing at what he does.
He really pops it off.
Dude, like just the cinematography that he does with like the music that he adds in and edits and everything is unreal.
Yeah, that's cool.
He's so good.
But so there you were,
just all those little counter movements, like there was a match this weekend where like I'm posting, which is basically being high to do like a hammer curl basically.
Yeah.
And like I went to do that and I got sucked into a hook and I'm way out here and I'm side driving, but even from there I'm able to slowly suck back in and get back in and then like counter. But if I would have just kept going with like trying to pull back and up without driving side, I would have lost. It's like, but it was milliseconds. As soon as he hits, I have the realization to stop pulling back and drive sideways to counter his down pressure and side pressure.
Wow.
It's like, but it's not even. I don't even have to think about it.
Yeah, you've been doing it so much. You're used to it.
Hey, do that.
Yeah.
That's.
But the new person's gonna get just wrecked every time.
90% of the time, or they're gonna hurt themselves. Like it's. That's just the way that it is.
Wow. So there's tactics to it. So you're thinking.
I set up against every. Well, no, I won't say everybody. Every time I go to the table, based on who's at the table that I'm pulling, I instantly think to myself, okay, this is what I'm going to do because I know what they like to do. I know what I'm better at. I know what I'm like every single time. I might choose the wrong thing.
Right.
But I choose something because you have to have the mindset and like I'll visually imagine what I'm about to do.
You going with the game plan.
Yeah. If you don't go with the game plan, you're not going to hit 100% to whatever it is you're thinking about, and you're going to lose.
Yeah.
You know?
Wow.
Like it's because it's
That's
so
cool.
fast. It's so fast. Most matches are less than a second.
Really?
And then there's other matches where people are very, very similar in strength and styles, with pulling, and they could have a minute to 2 minutes to 3 minutes of a match, and then like there's those really ridiculous matches where it's 7+ minutes, 8+ minutes of just
so
people
just pull and that's how arm sketches.
Yeah.
And you're pulling multiple times a day.
Yeah.
So if you have one of those matches at the start, you're on shot, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. We're like going through the bracket. Like trying to win a tournament where you have like 25, 30 guys in your class, like we did this last weekend. If you think you're like third overall, and you're like, oh, I could still take third place here, but you pull the number one guy there, and he smokes you and just hurts your arm, and then you pull again and pull the guy who's like fourth, but like
doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Your arm's already been shot, Then you get pulled, and you're like, man, that's.
Is there anything you can do to kind of like?
Oh yeah, I rehab a lot. I do a lot of like if you're doing internal rotation for arm wrestling, you need to switch.
But I'm like at the tournament. Do you guys just deal with what you got to do?
It depends on how fast the tournament's going. A lot of times, like people will take like anti-inflammatories, like ibuprofen, naproxen, things like that, to like try to make it not so bad or whatever. But it is what it is,
If you're going against the number one, and you feel like you're about to get smoked, do you just let it go? Did you do stuff like that?
I pulled against the guy this weekend, and he was ranked. He was supposed to be the number one guy there, and I loaded up just like I normally would and hit just like I would.
Yeah.
Did I lose? Yeah, I lost. Yeah. But that's just
you made him work for it.
Yeah, it was close. I was like, and that's a weird thing to say, but like being able to feel what I was at. Like I was probably like 2 to 3 pounds of pressure from being able to take his hand back after like from him hitting. He was faster than me. It wasn't even that he was stronger than me. Like if I would have stopped the match, I would have beat him.
Yeah.
But it was so close.
Wow, that's so interesting.
It just.
Yeah. We should probably pause. I got pee anyways.
Yeah. Pause that then.
Okay. Yeah, let's pee. We'll be right back.
Yeah, me too. I've been holding it for like 40 minutes.
Yeah. Okay, let's go back to this.
Is he going?
Yeah, we're back.
Oh, we're good. Okay. So I don't remember directly where we left off.
I had to go to the bathroom so bad. And it was all good.
Yeah, I was
thinking about pee while you were thinking about pee.
And then I was like, hey, I need to message you and be like, hey, can I go use the bathroom right now? I don't know how this works, but I got to use the bathroom right now.
Right now. Hour and
we are
at
over an hour. Yeah.
You were talking about your techniques of arm wrestling, different things like that. Maybe we were talking about the last one you just did and how that all. I remember you telling me.
Yeah, it's just quickly. Like I said before, arm wrestling itself is like. I could talk about it for days to begin with, just to say that. So if I'm ever boring anybody, just forget you because I'm going to talk about it.
Right.
But no, it's like it's so unnatural, and it's until you start doing it for years, and you're like, oh, yeah, it's supernatural to do it. But like genetics is huge.
Yeah, we were just talking about that.
Yeah, genetics is huge in arm wrestling because like you outside of the steroid realm, like I'm saying, like
do a lot of people juice?
A lot of people juice. And the funny thing about that is a lot of people that juice get smoked by guys who have great genetics.
Wow. Okay. So
I've never touched a steroid, and I never will. I never. There's like every week that I train, or when I'm doing like a 3-week circuit or a 4-week circuit, where I'm building up to like a max effort lift, right? I've yet to get weaker. So like, why would I use steroids? There's no sense in me using steroids. I haven't even hit my natural ability. Like my peak naturally. Why would I ever use steroids? And like as far as I'm concerned,
especially with your dad too.
Yeah, like our genetics are good, Like, and he never used steroids,
Yeah, and he was built.
He doesn't even.
People who don't know Aaron's dad, his dad is jacked. How old is he?
Right now, he's 63.
And I'm talking like body of a 25-year-old bodybuilder.
Basically, he uses
chisel.
Or he has 3 world records in his age and weight class, not overall.
He got those in his 50s, right?
He was 55, and he had set the world record for bench in his weight class, deadlift, and it was either squat or there was another lift. It was bench. Maybe it was bench, squat, and deadlift, like the main 3 powerlifting motions.
Crushed it.
He destroyed like the bench record. He beat by like 50 or 60 pounds.
Yeah.
Like, and it was raw. All of his
He
lifts are
wears
raw.
an
He doesn't
extra
wear,
large shirt and then has to like tuck in all of the extra in the like bottom part because
his upper body is so big.
Yeah, his arms
Yeah.
are so big he can't get into a shirt that's small.
And he's also like, I don't know, he's got to be like 5'5", 5'6".
Yeah,
He's very short,
so-
very short.
Yeah.
But just
shout out to Earl, dude. He is Earl's the homie, man.
Yeah, my dad's name is Earl.
Yeah.
So like,
Low-key, one of the coolest guys. Like, he's always been chill, always been great.
the best.
Has the worst smart farts I've ever smelled in my life.
I'm a close second, honestly, because with how much protein I eat and everything.
Yeah,
like,
but
it's
he
just-
100%. You said, okay, here's a fun fact for people who don't know Aaron. His parents were missionaries, and Aaron has told me when they were missionaries, he still would put, like, he wanted to work out so bad, and they didn't have equipment that they would put rocks in buckets.
My dad would actually, they still had like cement mix, right? And he would take cement mix and put it in the bottom of a trash can, and then put like something like a water bottle or something in the bottom of it in the very middle, and let it dry. Then scrape the water bottle out, essentially, that would fit over a regular dumbbell or barbell, to where he could bench press and squat and deadlift with concrete blocks.
That's how he did it.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Or he'd use like manhole covers or not brake pads, but
the drums.
yeah,
brake drums.
on the inside. Like he would use stuff like that and put them on bars and stuff and work out in Africa. Like that's just
how he did it.
Yeah.
Were you born in
the
Africa?
crazy part is he did that when we came back to the States. Because
Really?
he had 5 kids, worked 3 jobs. We ate like crazy, and like
Yeah.
he wanted to be able to support us and all that stuff, but he worked out every day.
Yeah.
So he was like, look, I'm still going to get my workout in.
Yeah.
And he did, but he'd still carried those things over from Africa, and when, like, not the weights necessarily, but like the logic, and you'd come over and he would pour concrete into the bottom of 55-gallon.
And you just do them from there too.
Yeah.
No way.
He'd make weights, and he would find manhole covers at junkyards and stuff like that, and like
just use those. I saw him at your dad's in his trailer. He had a
those
room.
same weights.
He had a manhole cover. I
covers.
remember that.
Yeah.
In high
And
school, I
had
remember
those.
that.
I don't know why I keep saying brake pads or wanted to say brake pads.
Well,
It's not.
are they
It's,
drums or are they like
no,
the
it's
cylinders or I don't know what they are.
It's whatever's on the inside of that.
What the
Like
brake pads
if
clamp
you wear
to.
your brake pads out, they start hitting that, and I sound like an
whatever that-
idiot because I can't think of what it is. But
yeah.
you know what I'm saying.
I know exactly. Yeah, people do. Well, I'm not a car
Yeah.
guy. That's the problem with me. So you're,
I'm
you're
not.
talking.
I'm not either.
Yeah.
I'm not either.
No, but you're saying it's genetics. So to bicep this bunny trail.
I'm not saying that it's just genetics.
No, it helps a lot.
What
though.
I am saying
I'm
is
saying
that
you got good genetics.
What I am
for
saying
sure.
is that, like, when genetics work on what they want to do, it's way easier for them to shine than it is for someone who doesn't have genetics and then works, right? So, like, same goes for, like, someone using steroids but not working out. They're not going to shine as much as they would if they were working out. It's the same concept.
Gotcha. Okay.
So
because
like,
you have the genetics and you put the effort to it.
Like I still may outshine someone that's using steroids and putting in work because my genetics might be matching their steroids.
Yeah.
It's like,
and you just got that gift.
Yeah.
It wasn't like you. Yeah. Yeah.
It's not like a cocky flex or anything. It's like that's literally what it is. Like my brother and I, there's times where we don't work out for months, and people will be like, "Wow, dude, you look like you go to the gym every day."
No,
We're
100%.
like, "Yeah, we don't." Like this last tournament that I just went to, the biggest in the nation. I took second place, and I haven't worked out in like 3 months.
And that's how you took second place.
I took second place.
That's crazy. I was thinking about,
and I felt like an idiot. I went there and I felt so flat. Like my muscles I didn't feel like strong or anything, and I still, like 90% of the people I pulled, I smoked. And it's genetics, and then like my like
and the fact of experience
that I've had the experience. But a lot of the guys I pulled,
in the
like
30 tournaments you went to in your first year, and the whatever amount of tourneys
exactly.
You
But
you have how many tourneys behind you?
A lot. But like
at least
the guy that I
maybe?
beat, no, I wouldn't say 100.
You're getting close to, and
it's got to be close, or I would even say 75 maybe actually, because I really toned it back after that first year. The first year I went to so many, and then after that, the second year I toned it back like by half. So I would say I'd probably say maybe 60.
45.
I would say 60 because this last year I went to like 2. It toned back a lot. Just because I really got to pick and choose what I'm going to go to.
Yeah.
But like I said, like one of the guys that I pulled from Canada, he's the #1 left and right hand Canadian champion in all of Canada. And he came down and he smoked the right-handed class.
Wow.
I didn't even get a chance to pull him because of the way the bracket went. I didn't even get a chance to pull him. But everyone he pulled, he just blasted through.
Wow.
And then I got lucky enough to be able to even pull him left-handed. And I did what I said earlier. Like I committed to what I was going to do. I went to go back, and he pulled me into a hook. And then I slowly sucked back in and was able to get tight and pull him back and beat him in a hook. Which I felt good about because he's number one in all of Canada.
Yeah.
You know, like, and that's the other thing. Like when you're pulling, I mean, and a lot of things like doing sports and weightlifting and stuff. There's times where you hit like a full on adrenaline rush, right? I don't ever try to be like I'm very nice to the people that like I pull and beat or lose to. Like I'm never like, oh, you cheated in the setup. Like in my mind, like if someone beats me in an arm wrestling match, and even if I think that they cheated in like the setup and try to get away with something,
which can you do?
Oh yeah, you can get away with it, especially with refs. Like I've been in a match before where like I pulled somebody, and the head ref that was reffing the match was their training partner, the guy that I was having a super match with.
Yeah.
And every single match, I was like, oh, look at him. He's able to start with his wrist already cocked, and like with his shoulder turned in, and like things you're not supposed to be able to do in an arm wrestling match.
Yeah.
And he beat me 3-0.
But even if when that happens,
as soon as it was over, I shook his hand because it's not his fault. It's not the puller's fault. It was
the ref's fault.
But again, at the same time, as soon as I had that ideology of like, oh, it's the ref's fault. The ref screwed me out of that. I was like, no, he didn't.
Yeah.
Like he did, but if I was as good as I should have been and been as strong as I could have been, it wouldn't have mattered. It wouldn't have mattered if I let him start way over here by the pin pad.
Wow.
If I was that much stronger, like I know
that
I
much
could have
better.
been. Yeah, if I was that good, it wouldn't have mattered. It wouldn't have mattered how I let him start. If I let him hit early.
Yeah, that's a good mentality to go.
So I always tend
that's
to.
a winner's mentality.
I tend to pin it on myself, but not in a negative connotation of like you're worthless. No, I do it to myself in the sense of like to motivate myself to be better. To be like, look, like if I just worked harder, it wouldn't matter what they're doing or what my competitors do. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Which I think it's really helped me grow a lot. Because like when I first started, I didn't have that mindset. I would be like, man, that guy beat me, but
it's because of this or this or this or this. Yeah.
You start making excuses for things.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Because you mentioned you pulled the Canadian guy left hand. So when in the bracket, are you pulling right the first half and then left the second half, or how does that work? Like, how do you choose? Because I'm guessing right is your predominant hand.
My right arm is drastically stronger than my left arm.
Okay.
When I'm lifting weights.
Okay.
When it comes to being on the table and having like
pulling,
my arm left-handed is just way more technical on the table.
Oh, interesting.
It moves way easier with all the motions and everything than my right arm does.
Oh, wow. Okay.
My right arm and my right hand is way stronger than my left hand. So anytime I grip up with anybody right-handed, 9 times out of 10, they refuse to grip me, which is in arm wrestling. Like if we were gripping up, right?
Okay.
And I gave you a grip, and you were trying to get your grip, you just keep opening your hand and opening your hand. I'm just holding my grip. And like if they just keep doing this, the ref after 30 seconds will go, look, we're going to a ref's grip, which means now we cannot move at all, or we get a foul and you'll lose the match, right? And they will tell us when to close our thumbs. They'll ask if you want to get capped or not, which means like if you're capping your thumb, like so if you went like that, that's a cap.
Like finger over in the thumb.
And if you went like this, that's a no cap, right?
Okay.
So like there's different there's benefits and
pros and cons to each one.
But like nobody, basically everybody I ever grew up with, right and left-handed right now, but mainly right, refuses to grip me because they feel super uncomfortable with the way that I set up.
Because you're stronger, or it's not as technical?
Just my hand. My hand is really strong and like beefy, right? So like, but like I feel
the difference.
But it's the way that I grip up, right? So like most people when they grip up, they go like this.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now, just naturally. But
what's that feel like? That you're like, oh, you feel my hand, right?
Yeah.
I don't do that. I trick people, and they can feel like my hand's like meaty, right? But I don't squeeze their hand. I just make that flat cup space.
Wow. And that is a little bit different because you don't have that stability.
You don't feel like you have a lock on me.
Yeah.
And they feel weird by that, right? And I create space. So like most people will grip the thumb and then they'll clamp with their finger down like that, right?
Yeah.
And they'll squeeze the thumb.
Yeah. So
and they're like,
thumb
that feels good. That feels good, right?
Yeah.
But now if you tried to top roll me and like pull back, if I'm squeezing your thumb and you actually are stronger than my wrist, you'll bust my wrist.
Wow, okay.
But if I go like this, and you try to top roll me, you just spin in my hand.
Yeah, that's way stronger.
You're not going,
all the power's going to your
fingertips.
fingertips.
You're not going anywhere. You're just spinning in my hand, and I just go like this, and I'm way on top of your hand now.
Yeah.
And you're not going anywhere.
Interesting.
Like,
so
so
it's just
I
the
grip
grip
and I give all this space, and no one's used to having that space.
But right hand, left hand, how does that work in a polling tournament? Like, how do you
freaks people out?
No, but how do you decide who when
I do that every time.
No, I understand what you're saying. I understand, but like when you're going against someone, do you say I'm going to go against you left-handed or right-handed?
Oh no, okay.
So if they go right-handed, they get freaked out. Do you switch to left-hand, or how does that?
No. So at a tournament, when you show up at a tournament, when you sign the waivers and everything, like, hey, I know that I might break my arm.
Right.
I'm okay with that. You sign, you pay your entry fee. No, you sign up for left or right hand or both.
Okay.
So you choose. They have a left-handed bracket and a right-handed bracket. It's not like, hey, they don't want to pull you.
Okay.
Yeah. So like this weekend, they started off, they pulled all the way through all the right-handed classes, and then they went down to Final Four with right hand and finished it down to Final One. And they handed out trophies for right hand,
nice.
And then they move into left hand. Because some people just show up and just pull right-handed.
Right.
Some people show up and just pull left-handed.
Right. Right-handed is probably the most common. Am I right or no? I'm just assuming.
Yes, it is. It is more common than pulling left, but it is even more common to pull both.
Okay.
Right. So there are more right, but there are some people. There are actually quite a few people that only pull left-handed.
Okay. Oh, interesting. Yeah, and there's probably only people that pull right-handed.
People that just pull right-handed, but a majority of all pullers pull both left and right-handed.
Yeah, and but the majority of only one pullers are probably right.
Yes, I would say.
Even though there's both.
But a lot of times people change it up based on when they come to a tournament, whether they're injured or not.
Oh, interesting.
So like a guy on our team who's like really good right-handed, he showed up this weekend, only pulled left-handed
because he
had an injury.
Interesting.
But he smoked everybody and took first place left-handed.
Wow. Okay.
Which he's a monster, by the way. Yeah, he's insane. He's been around for years, and like WAL is the World Arm Wrestling League, which I don't necessarily agree with. Theirs is great for like. That league is great for like publicity and like but like they don't actually bring the best pullers on like overall. They may bring like the best individual puller for a weight class on, but they don't.
The group.
It's mainly for like the stage presence and everything. Like they bring people on to make a show. Yeah. They bring people on with personality and to show and like scream and stuff like that. You know, it's not like. They're not bringing the top tier athletes in. So
there's a little politics in this as well.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Especially there's definitely politics involved.
Oh snap, dude. Okay, so you signed up for both brackets, and that's why you were pulled one right. That makes sense. Okay. Okay.
Yes.
And you like the left because you can get.
I like left and right. Like when I said.
That's a really interesting grip that you had. That was a very interesting. Your right-handed grip was weird. Yeah.
It's not when I first got an arm wrestling, I arm wrestled you upstairs.
Yeah.
I never gripped like that.
With the towel.
Yeah, I never.
Back in the day.
I never gripped you like that before because I didn't. No one taught me that grip either.
Yeah.
I started messing around with grips at practice, and I was like, look, okay, a lot of people cap. I feel good, but like my hand was still like wanting to go back, even though my wrist is super strong. But when you're focused more on squeezing, the harder you squeeze your hand, the easier it is to have your wrist get cracked.
Because you're putting all the pressure into the hand.
But if you're making just your fingers as hard as they can be, just flat. Your wrist doesn't crack.
And just making like a literal,
just making an L, just making a ledge,
and just holding that.
So
that's what you're training.
I'll do flat finger pull-ups. I have a bar that
and you just go like this.
I have a 1/4 inch.
You gotta be kidding me, bro.
I have 1/4 inch aluminum plating from where I used to work at ATC, and I bend it in the brake press, and it's like 18 inches wide. And I will put my hands on it. It's flat. And I will put weight.
Burp into the mic.
I will put weight.
Just burp into the mic.
Yeah, I will put weight around my waist with like a weight belt and like a chain,
and then hold like a bell.
And I will do flat finger pull-ups until my fingers exhaust.
Wow.
And then I will drop weight and do tear down sets or whatever it is I'm doing that week. But like I train.
That's wild.
I train the individual fingers to have that flat. My goal is to be able to do a one-armed pull-up with flat fingers.
Wow.
Like to be able to do that, to have the lat strength.
Can you please film that? There we go. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
That's what I'm talking about.
I want to be able to have that strength to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Which is insane because I think there's only ever been one person in the entire world that's done that.
Yeah.
His name's Ingen Terzi, which by the way
he totally do that. Someday, dude.
Someday, yeah. No, I have full faith that someday.
Yeah.
But I'm saying like right now in the entire world for the last As many years as that it's been out, there's only been one person to do that.
Wow.
His name's Duncan. I'm sure that guy from Brazil who's like a pull-up champion, but even then I don't think he could do it because he's so used to group. He's never done flat finger stuff.
Right. Yeah, and you're not working that muscle.
Because he's not an arm wrestler. You know, it's super strange. Like,
yeah. So you're working out really interesting muscles that like people don't even
like I said, when people were to see me work out like with what I do at home and like try to mimic it, like looking at it, you'd be like, "Wow, that guy's so weak." And then like as soon as you try, you'd be like, "Oh my gosh, what is that?"
Yeah. Like
I would challenge it. Like if anybody listening who wants to like. That's the thing too. Like I'm so open to having anybody come over and arm wrestle and train. Like I've got right now like the
you got a group of homies who
yeah everybody on our team is like super like helpful and motivating to people that are new to the sport and trying to come in.
Yeah.
Like we don't push anybody away. We have guys who drive like we're in Goshen, right? Yeah. We have guys who drive from Fort Wayne, Valparaiso, Kokomo, Michigan, Lafayette, like all those places. They come to us
to train with you guys.
To train with us on Saturdays.
Oh, that's cool.
To train with us on Saturdays.
Oh, that's super cool.
We have guys from Carmel, almost Indy, who drive up to train with us.
That's crazy.
Yeah, we have a guy. We have a guy who came up from Louisiana in New Orleans to train with our group.
No way.
Yes.
Just come hang out with you guys to train, or just.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Came up, spent 2 days with us. We trained with him 2 days in a row. Had a big cookout and everything, and fed him and everything. But yeah, he came 17 and a half hours.
Oh wow.
To train with our group in Indiana.
Wow.
Because our group is that motivated.
Yeah, you guys are in it. You guys are probably making waves too.
Oh yeah,
right?
this last weekend, dude. We have a guy on our team who's been pulling for. By the way, to be like, even if you're like a phenom, being in the sport for like 2 years and then like making a name for yourself, like I did, is nuts. Like most people don't do that. And a lot of it's publicity. Like like what I did compared to what I'm about to tell you with this guy that just did is a lot different. Like I put my name out there by getting my face out there and also pulling and placing top 3 in tournaments all over the United States. Yeah. What this guy just did last week on our team is nuts. So he's just a farm boy from Plymouth. You know where Plymouth is, right?
Yeah.
He just turned 21. In high school, he was a 5-time. Because I think that's how it can work if you're by your age and whatever. Like he was a 5-time. National champion in wrestling, right?
Okay.
And heavyweights.
Okay.
So like when he graduated, he was like 350 pounds, right? Big kid, but never he doesn't lift weights. He doesn't even train arm wrestling specific motions. He trains on the table once a week with Storm. You know Storm?
Yeah, I know Storm.
That's his real name, just so you guys know.
Yeah, he's cool. He's come to my house here.
Yeah, Storm Stapleton. His dad, Eddie Stapleton, has been training this farm boy for the last 2 years. In the last 2 years, he's gone to 2 small events. He went to the Elkhart County Fair, which there was like 2 guys in his class, and he smoked. And then he went to the Bremen's Fireman Festival. And by the way, when he went to the Bremen's Fireman Festival, there was like maybe 5 guys in his class. He had at this point, he's like 20, right? And he's super funny. He got his face painted as a butterfly and wore a headband that had little antennas, and then pulled the arm wrestling tournament and smoked everybody in the arm wrestling tournament, right? So
dude, that's beautiful.
Yeah. Okay. So this weekend he went to Michigan State, his first actual legit tournament, and it happens to be the biggest one in the United States. The biggest tournament, hands down, every year in the U.S. And
you said like 350 plus people pulling.
520.
520. Okay, yeah, I'm sorry.
520. Which, by the way, most tournaments have like 130 to 180. This is like 3 times bigger. We started the tournament at 11:40 in the morning, and we didn't leave till almost 11:40 at night.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So long.
Yeah, that's a long time.
That's how many people were there with the matches and the restarts and everything. So this kid's name is Alexander Cartwright, but he goes by Alex. The dude's an animal, right? So like, and he doesn't know it. He's so humble, so quiet. He showed up and he's like, "I'm gonna pull novice." And I was like, "No, you're gonna pull pro. Like you're that strong." He doesn't even know his own strength and his own technique, right? And he's like, "I'll just pull the amateurs." Amateurs and novices, basically the same thing. He's like, "I'm just going to pull the amateur class." Like, no, you're going to pull pro because, like, you're that good. I just don't think you know it.
Yeah.
And he was like, we finally convinced him to do it. He signs up for pro. They pull right-handed first, right? He's better left-handed.
Okay.
And with his right arm in the super heavyweights, which, by the way, the guy who pulled super heavyweights who won the class is ranked in the top 5 in the nation, right?
Okay.
Alex almost beat him.
Oh, wow.
His first turn, people walked up to him and, pardon my French, were like, "What the Like they literally were like,
who are you?
Where
did you come from?
There was guys who, like the number one arm wrestler in Michigan in super heavyweights, walked up and was like, "Who? What?
Where'd you come from?
What is your name, dude?
Yeah.
Like, who? His name's Dave Shea. Who? I'm not sure, but I would guess he juices if you just looked at the veins in the dude's arms and everything. Like he's 260 pounds and just
loaded.
Dude, you don't have road maps on your arms. Like, there's genetics that do, but like, you don't have road maps on your arm that stick out 3/4 of an inch on your arm like that. Like, especially at the age of 45, 50. Like it just doesn't happen. But that guy's ranked number one in Michigan, right-handed at least. He doesn't pull lefty. But yeah, Alex made him look like a beginner.
Really?
He made that dude get into like it's called a desperation move or a king's move, to where like you literally extend your arm fully to a bone lock position, to where you're trying, like when your arm's like this, right? You can only twist to here.
Right.
You can only pronate. That's what the actual term is, to here. Now watch my hand when I push my arm out.
Oh wow!
I can pronate another 90 degrees. So people will get in that position where they shoot their arm like this, to where you can break your arm now because your arm's straight. But now you can twist to here and try to twist the opponent's hand and then come back up and be on top, right? So that's what that guy tried to do, and Alex almost broke that guy's arm.
Wow. Did he win?
Oh, he beat him. Yeah, he beat him pretty easily.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
They didn't even go to like the strap where you slip. He just held his hand and about broke his arm and pushed his hand down.
Wow.
Yeah. And then he beat everybody else and went up against a guy whose name's Pablo Durbanyev, who's from Latvia or Lithuania.
Yeah.
And that dude...
is a beast too.
Yeah, if you ever hear this podcast, Pablo, you know I love you, but you're
up?
definitely juicing, bro. Like you're juicing so hard.
Yeah. Love Pablo.
Like again, and I know you're juicing because you asked one of my guys on my team if he wanted to juice. He came to train with you, and you were like, "Hey, man, I got some stuff," and he was like, "No, I'm good." Which he might be juicing now, but I know that you asked him to get on it. So, I think again, the guy's great, and he's a great arm wrestler, and there's nothing.
Well, you said that people juice. And some people do,
just like most sports and stuff, people do it. But I'll never do it.
Arm wrestling is not super regulated. You know what I mean?
No, it's not unless you're going to World. Even Nationals isn't regulated on juicing. If you go to Worlds, the WADA, the World Anti-Doping Association, is involved. But in anything else, it's not. It's not involved. Like for high school, they don't check the kids for.
Yeah.
It's like that. It's like that. They don't.
Yeah.
They don't check in on it or whatever.
It's not as intense at that point.
But that 21-year-old Alex, who's been in the sport for less than 2 years, and all these other guys have been in veterans for 10 plus, and your muscles really get acclimated to the sport in 5 years and on. I'm not even yet in my prestigious years of being able to really jump and make leaps, because my muscles are just now and tendons are just now getting used to being like, okay, this.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just now getting warmed up. But these other guys are warmed up. Alex is 2 years in, not warmed up, and he almost beat that guy. He took second place, right hand with his bad arm, right? With his left arm, that other guy's left arm is his good arm too, right? Okay. So they both have the good left arm, right? Good. Yeah. He almost right-handed. He held him off and was able to do something, but
this is the
Pablo. His name's Pablo, right? I've never seen his hand get busted back, right?
Got busted with his.
Right-handed, they didn't. Neither one of them busted each other's hand back. They just both had flexion. It's kind of like a hook win, right? Left-handed, I've got the video on my phone. I can show you real quick so you can see it.
You want to email it so we can watch it on here?
It's pretty good. I'll show it to you.
Do you have a way to Can you send it via Facebook?
I can send it to you, Facebook.
Yeah, send it to me Facebook, and then we'll just pull it up on Facebook.
When you watch it, if you don't know anything about arm wrestling, that's one thing. But if you know anything about it, then
it's crazy.
You're like, holy cow.
Yeah, well, I don't know anything about it, but it'd be interesting to take a look real quick.
But yeah, he literally busted this dude. When you see someone in the position like this with their they're pulling back and their hand gets taken and their wrist is like this and they're pulling. They're just running scared, right? They're running like a chicken, right? They're trying to get away so bad. And Alex had him in that position and was just cranking on his arm, trying to get him. He's just trying to run away. He's like, I'm about to lose the match. Now, once you're in the strap, it's so much harder to top roll, which is the pronating aspect of arm wrestling, and it's way easier to clamp down and just suck someone into a hook, which Alex is really good at top rolling. He's not near as good at hooking.
Okay.
And even in a hook, once they got strapped palm to palm.
Is it on left hand still?
Yeah.
Okay.
Once you're strapped palm to palm, it's so much harder to top roll someone, especially with a strap being tightened down on your hand. to get out of a hook, right? And Pablo just hooked him once that started. And even Alex held him in a hook for a while before he got pinned. But it was just... And he's so new to the group and, like, arm wrestling as a whole. Like, 2 years is not that long for, like... It just...
All right, how do I make this full
screen? He doesn't have the full grasp and understanding of what he just did this week. And he took at his first actual tournament, which is the biggest in the nation, took second right-handed and third left-handed.
Wow.
And I don't know if you know.
And out of nowhere, and he just had done the two. And you said you literally just like the Goshen, or no, the Goshen Fair and the Bremen Fireman. Yeah, that's crazy.
And I don't think, and you know who Jeff Dabe is? You might have seen his video. I think you may have sent me the video on Facebook. You know the guy who has the Unreal hand? Like, his hands are like 13 inches long? A huge
I don't know if that was me.
But have you seen him?
Yes.
Massive hands.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
And does he have like a birthmark too? That's like kind of, I don't know where it's. Yeah.
Okay. Alex almost beat him.
How do I get this bigger? Forward, more.
I don't know. I don't ever do podcast stuff like this. So I wouldn't.
No, I know. This is Facebook. I just don't even know how Facebook works. Let me see if I can go into. Yeah, let's do this. Hold on. Give me 1 second.
It was insane.
I want to be able to pull this up a little bit.
It was insane. Are they seeing this right now?
Yeah. Which I don't care. Yeah, I don't have a way to... Can we zoom in? Come on.
Oh, that was weird. Oh, its content's not available. What do you mean?
I think it's... Facebook's being weird. Bro, come on, Facebook. Chill, bro.
Come on, give Alex some views, man. Okay, the kid's such a quiet, nice kid too.
Is he really?
That's what's nuts. Like,
figure out another way to look at this. Let me look if I can just pull Facebook Messenger.
Like, he's so humble, and like I said, he didn't even
just from Plymouth.
He didn't even have the understanding and realization of what he just did, and like everybody was like, "Dude, do you have any idea what you just did?" And he's like, "Well," his voice is deep. He's like, "Oh, I don't know what I did." No, like, you just made the guy who's top 5 in the nation struggle to beat you.
Yeah. And he didn't even want to do this.
No, he was like, I'm going to pull amateurs. He would have smoked everybody in amateurs.
Right.
By the way, it took me 3 years of going to that tournament to even bring home one of those 20-pound trophies of the Gorillas. And he took home 2 in his first year.
Oh, wow. Okay. So there he is.
Yeah, so he's busted that dude's hand back. Right? He's in the black, right? Okay. Again, this angle's not the best. It was on my brother's phone when he took this, and like he slipped and see, oh man, he's just wearing an Indiana Alpha Arm shirt. So like, look, when they say go right here, he takes his hand back. Look how hard that dude's struggling.
Wow, he was so close. Let me see if I can pull this over to do this.
Like I said, it's just, if you don't know anything about arm wrestling, you're like, oh yeah, whatever. But like the people that I'm in with like the rankings and everything,
yeah,
when they watched this video, they were like, who is that guy?
They're freaking out.
Yeah, they were losing their minds because like, that guy never gets pulled from center of the table.
Yeah, and he just like crushed him. I can't see it. I don't know what's going on with
That's
Facebook.
Fine. You don't have to. It's cool.
Yeah, I think they probably were able to see it. I was able to see it.
Yeah,
you were able to see it, which
that's
was
fine.
cool. So.
Like I said, like it's just
That's wild.
I guarantee. And he said, and what I told him after that match was like, from where he was at, like he had that guy's hands right. Like give me your grip, right? He had that guy's hand over here, and he tried to slip, right? So his hand went like this, and you're like trying to slip out, right? Pulling, and he had him here. But he was like way out on his fingers, right? And he started to press. And he was like, man, what do I do? And I said, well, you know what you do? He signed the waiver to have his arm broke. I said, you go like this, and you snap his fingers and make him pin. And he was like, oh, I can't. He's super nice. He's like, oh, I can't do that. I said, he signed. And I said, he's trying to get away from you.
Yeah.
Because he knows you're about to win.
Yeah.
And I said, you were just pushing straight down. I said, if you supinate and spin your hand inside,
it would have.
You would have snapped his. You would have put enough pressure into his fingers to where he thinks they're going to break, to where he would have laid down.
Yeah, yeah.
Because inside the strap, he gets too close to you, and arm to arm, he's stronger than you, but your hand is stronger than his.
That's wild.
But he didn't understand. So at the end of the tournament, after he lost, he looked at me and goes, "I'm breaking that guy's arm next year." And I fully believe him.
Yeah,
like, because
that's cool.
The kid doesn't drink, doesn't smoke, he doesn't even work out. Just go. So he told me after
comes on your Saturdays and hangs out with you guys.
So he said after that tournament, he looked at me and he goes, I'm going to start lifting weights, and I'm breaking that guy's arm next year.
That's awesome.
And I believe him.
Yeah.
I totally believe him that he's going to do it. Whether it's left or right-handed, he's going to break that guy's arm.
He's going to crush it.
There's no doubt in my mind he's breaking that dude's arm.
Do you see where we're at? Can you believe it?
I can't believe we just came back down here and it's been that long since we started. I looked at the time down there and I was like, it's really almost 9?
I know, dude. Yeah, we should probably wrap this up. If anyone wants to join, like you guys are cool with anyone joining, right?
Yeah, anyone who wants to be involved and like get into it, like
I'll drop. Do you have like a Instagram or something where people? What's a good place for the content?
Not Instagram, but on Facebook, Indiana Alpha Arms. You can join the page.
Okay.
Indiana Alpha.
I'll link
Arms.
it. I'll link it in. If they will watch the YouTube video, they'll see it in the show notes underneath it. Yeah. And if you look it on any podcast, there will be a place for you to find it.
Yeah, and even then, if not, like you can always just look me up. You can always just look me up on Facebook.
Aaron Duncan.
Yeah, and
Duncan spelled like Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah, no. That's Dunkin.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Like Dunkin' Yo-Yos, like the old Dunkin' Yo-Yos. Duncan.
I'm sorry. I don't even know why I said
That's
that.
Fine, dude. He hasn't known me for 15 years.
I know. Well, to be honest, I didn't know how Dunkin' Donuts was spelled. I'm not lying, bro, because I've literally, I've probably been spelling Dunkin' Donuts like Aaron Duncan.
I'm not worried about it. Like I said, it takes a lot to get me upset.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no, but so one more time, your arm wrestling page.
Our wrestling page on Facebook is Indiana Alpha Arms.
Indiana
like my
Alpha
own
Arms.
Personal Facebook page is Aaron Duncan.
Yep.
So if you look me up on there, I'll get with you. Or on the arm wrestling page, I'll get with you. I literally right now have people reaching out to me essentially every week from different places. Like I have 2 new people from Fort Wayne that want to drive up this weekend. Another person from Valparaiso that I met at Michigan State that want to come over this weekend. And everyone's welcome. Basically, in the summer, almost every weekend, we have a cookout.
Oh, that's cool.
And we'll grill like 40 to 50 pounds of chicken, 20 pounds of steak.
Just
hang out. Yeah, it's pretty.
That's cool.
It's pretty good. We got like a Traeger and 2 other grills that we'll hook up and start.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. Have drinks. Have a good. We'll pull for like, if it's a Saturday and it's a grill day, we'll pull for like 8 hours.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Just practicing.
So we'll pull for like 4. Take a break. Eat.
And then
go back into it. Yeah.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Well, and check for him on the top of the arm wrestling charts in years to come. 100%. Number 1.
Yeah, I that's my goal. My goal is to go to WAF, which is the World Arm Wrestling Federation, which pulls against like everybody, like Russia.
No, I'm not joking. You'll hit that. I mean, the things I've seen
that's my mindset. Like
if you add them on Facebook, you'll see the stuff that's happening. You're playing with people that I've seen. On like a national, just browsing the internet. Yeah, no, you get caught up. You're around those people. Yeah, that's interesting.
That's my goal. Like I don't ever set my bar low.
Yeah.
Like I plan.
You should show like people how to do the workouts and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that do that on YouTube.
Okay.
Right. But they're from other countries too. So like I know them, but like a lot of people here might not know them.
So maybe a niche there, especially if the sport's growing.
Like I could also do that, but.
Anyways, Aaron, this has been good. Yep. Thanks for coming on. Yeah, this is good. We'll do more.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
I'll be back.
Peace.